Welcome to the fourth episode of The Backlog Boat. As usual, I am your captain, Roberto Gonzalez. To my left, we have the navigator.
Say the line, Stephanie.
She's not the navigator.
I'm not the navigator.
Oh shit, I'm the navigator.
I thought you were doing this as a bit, Jake. I thought you were like, I thought that because before it, we decided you would introduce yourself this time. You were just
I just drank my energy drink for the day. What do you want from me?
I thought you were going to be like, yeah, let me just let Robert make a fool of himself. So our navigator.
Hi, my name's Jake. Robert, shut up. Hi, my name's Jake. That's it. I'm here. Stephanie, now say your line.
To my left, we also have the doctor.
Hi, I'm Stephanie.
What a great intro.
I'm fucking tired, dude. What do you want from me?
Good content.
Getting your ass beat, turns out, is exhausting.
You've been getting your ass beat?
Yeah, I started going back to judo this month.
Yeah, he just told us that.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't on air.
Yeah, it wasn't on the podcast, so you know.
Oh, JK.
The audience didn't know.
So, you've been getting your ass kicked, you said?
Yeah, it's great. You know, dropped out of judo for a bit because blew up my knee, and then last quarter of school was fucked. But now that we're in April, and now that I'm done with school, yeah, going back to judo, and it is a fun time. I don't know, man. It's nice to have a physical activity you actually want to get better at, because the gym is kind of boring as shit. Like, I'm sure this is why people have like lifting goals, because just like sitting there lifting weights or sitting there and then running on a treadmill for 45 minutes is pretty not interesting. But there's something about another man trying to strangle the life out of you that is incredibly exhausting.
It's not always men, right? It could be men, women.
No, it's pretty much just men. We have like 3 girls total, and it usually only one of them shows up, and she is the instructor for the kids class. No, man, but getting your ass beat feels good, bro. Because like martial arts is the closest I felt to being a shonen protagonist. You know, you show up, you get your ass whooped by a guy who's 5 inches taller than you and has 100 pounds on you, and then you train for a month, and you show back up, and then you get that pin and the euphoria of victory. There's something primal about putting someone else into the ground. That's very cathartic for me.
Is it cheaper than therapy?
$40. So probably.
Okay.
I don't know. You guys got any physical activities you like doing? I don't know. You go hiking or some shit.
I like swimming.
Damn, that sounds like rich people shit.
To swim?
Yes. Do you think I own a pool?
Some apartments have pools.
Oh, hell no, dude. I ain't swimming in an apartment pool. Are you fucking kidding me?
What about you, Stephanie?
I guess just like working out, but that just consists of a lot of stuff. Would I say it's like my favorite thing to do? Sometimes no, but I know I need to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's kind of boring, but you do it because like you need to. But martial arts, you got a reason to get better. You feel yourself getting better. Like, I can actually stand up against dudes with 100 pounds than me and then like not get immediately murdered. And it feels good because I was not at that place at the beginning of the month. The beginning of the month, on the verge of pretty much puking every single practice because my cardio went straight to shit from that break I took.
I mean, it sounds like a more entertaining way of working out than just working out.
Yeah, man, grappling is exhausting, dude. When somebody's job is to just wrap their arms around your neck and then choke you unconscious and you just trying not to die, like, it's a pretty good workout.
I don't know if that's how they advertise it, but
That's pretty good. I feel bad though. Like yesterday I went to practice and saw my sensei get his shit rocked. Like him and another kid were like sparring and then they both go to the ground. The kid fell on top of him and then just headbutt him square in the face on the way down.
Is that leak? Can you headbutt?
No, he just slipped.
Oh, okay.
And landed awkwardly. So like the back of the sensei's head hit the mat, and then this fucking teenager at Mach speed just like Luigi missiled his forehead into his nose, and it may or may not be broken.
Was there blood?
Oh yeah, but all over, like, dude's got to get a new gi. Like, he turned that white gi red pretty quick.
See, isn't that scary? Like, just to see that, like, you just turn and all of a sudden there's just.
Well, I saw him hit the mat, and then I saw him on the ground for a while, and then I was like, oh shit, he broke something. And then I saw his bloody nose, and I was like, oh, he's good. Like, if you see blood in judo, they're probably okay, because it just means, like, somebody probably just got hit in the face or accidentally ripped out a fingernail or something. If you heard something pop, that's how you know it was really bad.
So it's got some stakes to it, you know. When you're working out, you can fall off the treadmill. You can maybe drop a weight.
Nah, falling off a treadmill, bro, that fucks you up too.
That's what I'm saying, but like at least those are the expectations. I don't actually. You can't break your nose that way. Never mind.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you do any kind of martial art, you're probably going to get hurt. Judo and weirdly enough, Aikido have a really high injury rate just because who would have thought repeatedly falling into the ground has a chance of you breaking or spraining something. Yeah, but enough of that. Why judo is such a fun and interesting sport. What'd y'all do with your month? You got anything other than the media?
Not. I don't actually. Like, I was.
Y'all don't have.
I was pretty busy just working this month.
I mean, same, I guess. Y'all don't got much else going on other than what's on your list here?
I would say for me, something that isn't related to media is that I ended up getting plants last month. Or was it 2 months ago? And I named them Carl and Bubba. And Bubba is a money tree, and he's doing great. And I'm pretty sure I killed Carl. He's a pig.
You fucking rip.
Yeah, let me tell you, literally.
Like, not enough sunlight? Did you overwater it? He's just like, I'm out?
So I feel lied to because the girl was like, oh, yeah. They're like super easy to take care of, which is true. But they need like certain conditions. Like your humidity has to be right. And also, too, I'm pretty sure they can't have a pot that doesn't have like a drain in it, you know? And
I think that's most plants.
literally, right? And she gave me a pot that has like basically a closed ending to it. I don't know. And also, too, she's the one that repotted it. So I'm just like, there are just so many things. He was doing okay. And then he just started to be like, nah, fam, this ain't it. But he's not completely dead yet. Just throwing that out there.
So the impending death of your plant child is definitely not your fault, but this other lady's.
No, it's my fault.
She set you up for failure though, giving you the wrong pot.
Honestly, we just like high-fived each other. We're like, we're going in on this together. We're gonna kill this plant. It's gonna be great. So
But the other one's doing good.
Bubba's doing great though. Yep. Bubba's living his best life.
What is a money tree? I'm assuming it's not a literal money tree. Like, what does it look like?
I guess it's geez. It's basically like a tree, but the trunk is twisted. So like there are like a few mini trunks, if that makes sense, and they're twisted into like one big
$130.
Well, I mean, that's not how much I paid
How
for
much-
this, but
Okay, I was about to say.
no, I was
They call
about to
the
be
money
like,
tree for nothing.
let me tell you. Oh, but yeah, it's like a really cool saying. Like if you get a money tree, it's supposed to bring you like money and prosperity. So you definitely don't want them to die. But anyway,
So if you kill it, does that mean
Yeah, I just looked this guy up, and it's like, yeah, man, 115, and then add shipping. I was like, oh, okay.
Boba did not cost that much.
Like, shit, I thought I had expensive hobbies.
I mean, I've killed succulents before, so
How much did you pay for the money tree, Stephanie?
$85.
Holy shit! Yeah, you probably don't want to kill that one.
Not yet. Not yet.
is there any salvaging? So like medicine.
For Carl, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it.
Got to take him out back with the Glock and, take care of business.
What do you do with plants? They're already like in the dirt. Like, how do you bury a plant?
Put more dirt on it.
I guess, yeah.
Cover it up. It'll be okay.
Okay, so yeah, we got a plant enthusiast. We got a martial arts enthusiast.
And then we got me, who spends too much money on Fortnite. Apparently,
You really fucking do.
That's actually
I
true.
haven't
Yeah.
played Fortnite in a long time. Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you spend a lot of money on Fortnite because I've never bought in a battle pass, but I have multiple battle passes and they've all been purchased by you.
I mean, how else am I going to get you to play the game?
Last time we played, I invited you because I was like, I want to see my Aaron Yeager doing cool Attack on Titan shit, and it turns out he wasn't even out.
I don't. Oh wait, I think he's out now. Yeah, he's out now. So I haven't played in a while, but I kind of sort of bought Levi and Mikasa.
Why?
I don't spend money on this game. Okay, that much. It's fine. I have a problem. Speaking of games,
I want to see a receipt for all the free to play games you've played.
I don't.
I want to know how much your League of Legends total is. I want to know how much your Valorant total is. I want to know how much your Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links total is. And I want to know how much your Fortnite and Call of Duty totals are.
Like over 300 on Clash of Clans, so I don't want
I was gonna say that. Like,
Why?
I don't want to.
Why?
That was years ago.
Like who? Bro, I just paid $20 for food for a day, and I felt bad about it. What the? Where are you getting this money from?
Money tree, obviously.
Robert actually does have a money tree.
The fuck up.
That's the funny part. Well, I guess your parents do.
Do we have a money tree?
You do. I'm pretty sure you do.
I mean, of course, that's where I get my money from. Obviously, my parents.
Your parents.
Sweet baby Jesus.
So speaking of games, did y'all play any games?
I went first last time. I ain't doing it again.
I'm actually genuinely asking, and I'm genuinely asking because I don't see any games on your list.
Looks like it's gonna be you.
Oh, did you not play any games, Stephanie?
Not this time around. I will for next time because I haven't beat it yet.
I mean, no, that's totally fine. Like, I barely played games.
Damn. Yeah, to be fair, I only got 2 on here. Okay, well, I guess it's up to you and me, Rob.
I can go first on this one. Resident Evil 4 just got a remaster, re-release, whatever you want to call it. So of course I had to play Resident Evil 4, but the 2005 version.
How was that?
That game is so fucking fun. It is just a game-ass game. You know, you can play through the whole thing without having to spend any extra money, not seeing a store or anything. Which I know that the new one already has upgrades you can buy. I don't think they affect the game, but it's just like if you want to skip grinding, you can just...
Have I mentioned I fucking hate modern gaming? Am I a boomer? Did I get old?
I just don't know why they have to do that. I'd played Resident Evil 4 before when I was younger, but like I didn't really know what was going on. I was just shooting things. And I played it on the GameCube, so it was a lot different. Getting to play it now on PC with mods that make it look not just as good as the new one, but pretty damn good. It looks pretty decent for a 2005 game. Resident Evil 4 is obviously the 4th installment in the Resident Evil series. Play as Leon, and you have to go save some girl named Ashley. That's as far as I'm going to keep it basic. I'm not going to give all the Las Plagas names and all that.
What?
Just spoil the game right now.
The new one just came out, so a lot of people
I know
probably barely getting introduced into it. You know, I wouldn't want to deprive one of our 7 listeners here of getting that opportunity for the first time. So, but if you've played a Resident Evil game before, Resident Evil 4 was the first. That was the switch to 3D, right? Actual moving around, not just locked angles.
Well, not tank controls.
Yeah, and it was definitely the switch to action.
So
more so than horror.
I mean, 3 was pretty actiony. It's just you still had tank controls.
See, I never played the OG 3. I just played the new one, so I wouldn't know. You go around, you shoot some zombies. There's some really fun boss fights. It does suffer from that QTE stuff from that era. So many QTEs. And because I was playing with a controller on PC, for the most part, it was pretty good, and it would give me the gamepad buttons to hit. But every once in a while, it would give me keyboard buttons.
Oh, get fucked, dude. Those key bindings are fucked on those QTEs if they're anything like Resident Evil 5's.
Well, not even that. I'm literally holding a controller, and you got to hit this real quick, and I just see like AE, and I'm like, well.
No, because they're fucking whack. Like Resident Evil 5, it's like, yeah, V and fucking G. Hit them repeatedly. And I'm like, bruh, like my fingers aren't anywhere near those keys when I'm playing this game.
And at the very beginning of the game, those QTEs are like, oh, you got to duck or you'll get hit and take a little bit of damage. Towards the later half of the game, you fuck up a QTE, you instantly die. And there's one, it's not even a boss fight. It's like a boss you're going to fight later. You see him earlier, and he has a cutscene that has like 7 different QTEs you have to hit. And if you fuck one up, it restarts the cutscene from the beginning. And that was just annoying because one time I had it all done. I was like, all right, cool. Last one, switch to keyboard for me. And I was just like, cool. You didn't get to get him that time.
Yeah, I remember some of the QTEs when we were co-oping Resident Evil 5 together.
Yeah.
Like, when your partner's QTE is in charge of you not dying, that shit.
Especially if it's me.
I had some choice words for Robert at the time.
Why didn't we plug in a controller?
I did. You didn't.
Oh, that makes. I probably didn't have.
That's why you fucked up every single QTE. And I kept telling you, just plug in a controller, but you're like, no, I don't like the aiming. Which is
okay.
identical to Resident Evil 4's.
Well, Resident Evil 4 is super fun, and I had a great time with it. I haven't beat it yet, but I'm like last level out to beat it. I just didn't have time to before this podcast aired, so or we filmed it, ordered it, whatever. Fun game, fun time.
I mean, I've heard like Resident Evil 4 is a lot of people's favorite game ever made. So I'm sure it's a certified hood classic that has also been on my backlog for a long time.
Have you played 4, Stephanie?
I have played 4. Mm-hmm.
What system did you play it on?
On PlayStation.
Okay. So that's the one version I'm playing technically, even though it's on PC. And I mean, like I said, I really like it, and I'm playing it on a PlayStation controller. What did you think about it?
I thought it was really good. And I know that I guess like 4-4, a lot of people like Leon. Like literally he's like the Bay, I guess a lot of people say, which is really surprising. And I know, Robert, you've played it until the end, right?
I'm so I don't want to
Having
spoil things, but
almost at the end.
I'm on the way. I'm on the way to the final boss fight.
Oh. Well, also too, the ending is just like very cheesy and very interesting. And yeah, I guess there's a reason why people really like Leon. So that's really cool.
See, and I haven't like because when I played it way back, I never even got close to the end. So I actually don't know how this one ends. Never looked it up or anything.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, never mind then. And also, do they still have like, or maybe you have to finish it with one playthrough, but like where you can shoot the targets and stuff, like throughout the game?
Oh, so you do that throughout it. The merchant
Mm-hmm,
or the
mm-hmm.
shopkeeper, whatever he's called. Whenever you, not always, but at certain points in the game where he's at, there will be a door, and if you go through that door, he'll be behind there. And it's really funny because you'll see him outside, and then you go through that door, and he's just chilling at like this behind this counter in there too. And then you just give him your guns, and he gives you certain guns, and then you go and you do the mini games. There's a bunch, and depending on how well you do on the mini game, you get certain bottle caps back, and it's just little bottle caps with figurines of all the characters. It's basically just a little shooting mini game where you go up to this range, and little moving targets will go by, and you gotta shoot the bad guys like little cardboard cutouts. Not shoot Ashley's when she pops up. You get headshots, you get more points, and depending on how many points and how many targets you hit, you'll earn more bottle caps. A fun little collectible thing. I like that they did something similar to that in The Evil Within.
You.
That's literally what I was thinking about too. Yeah.
Ooh.
You don't like that?
I don't like Evil Within. That game sucks.
No, it's really good.
What?
Yeah, I'm just here to have bad opinions. Stephanie, what about it?
Yeah, I was like, I guess so.
I can't play that game. It's too hard.
That was some of the funnest. That's one of the best horror games in recent times.
Yeah, that messed me up.
Jake, don't correct me on recent times. I don't want to know when it came out.
Like 10 years ago.
I think he's right.
There's no way it was 10 years ago.
I think it's kind of.
Evil Within 2? No. Evil Within 1? That sounds like the time frame.
Oh, okay. Evil Within 2, yeah.
Evil Within 2 was actually 9 years ago.
There's no way.
Sweet baby Jesus.
When did Evil Within 2 come out?
It was like 2016, wasn't it?
I think it was probably at least 2017.
No. Wait. Or maybe.
It was 2017. It was 2017.
Yeah, because we played it when I first moved to Spokane. Because I was at the very beginning, I think, right?
Was it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we moved winter 2017. That was a good idea.
It was a fantastic idea.
Yeah, moving in the snow was a great time.
I managed to move right before the snow.
I just got fucked. It was fine. Like, I remember I had started my job the day after I moved in, and it was such a fucking piece of shit. Like, driving in like 5 inches of snow to this job that's all the way on the opposite side of town. And then the first thing I see when I show up to that grocery store is the entire produce department is just absolutely fucked. And I'm like, man, this is going to be a great time working here.
I forgot that your job was way far away from where we lived.
Yeah, dude, it was literally opposite side of town.
I think every job I did was like super close.
Yeah, must have been nice.
It was.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
But that's Resident Evil 4, so what did you play Jake?
Yeah, so speaking of Resident Evil, I played a little game called Resident Evil 8, and I think this might be my favorite Resident Evil game.
Better than 7?
I love this game a lot. So, for the uninformed, Resident Evil 8 is a first person Resident Evil game where you play as Ethan Winters, a man who basically has PTSD from dealing with zombie hillbillies in Resident Evil 7. And Chris Redfield breaks into your house, shoots your wife, and then fucking.
I was gonna say real quick, Stephanie, have you played 8
Well, that's how the game starts.
or not?
I haven't played 8 now.
Cool.
Well, that's how the game starts.
Oh, I already knew that though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, no, this isn't a surprise.
All right. Well, to everyone else who's played 7 and is looking forward to 8.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, man, I don't know. I really like this game. Like, Resident Evil 8 looks like it's gonna do the same thing. Like, Ethan ends up tracking his daughter to a weird Romanian village that is Bloodborne-esque, is the nicest way I can put it. Like, I feel like Resident Evil 8 is gonna be the closest thing we get to Bloodborne 2, because holy shit.
Don't do that to me.
Some of the environmental and enemy design in that game. Like, I guess this variant of the virus is like turning people into like werewolves and vampires and weird gothic zombie men with swords and shit. And it's cool. So like you get dumped in a mansion looking for your kid, owned by Mistress Demitrescu or whatever her name is. The tall lady who's super pale. Everybody wants her to step on them.
Why is that? I think you need to describe her a little better.
No, that's about it.
Hmm.
So I was like, okay, I see what this game's doing. We're going to do the Resident Evil 7 thing again. We're going to run through her mansion. We're going to solve all these weird puzzles in her mansion, look for items, look for loot, craft ammo. And you meet the biggest boy to ever hit of the Resident Evil scene, Duke. And I love him so much, who is this, like, viciously obese giant who, like, I don't know if I can describe quite how big of a boy he is. Like, this dude is about a Ford Fiesta in width.
So he's in like a wagon, and he is probably 75% of the wagon.
Jesus.
No, he takes up he takes up at least half the back of the wagon, like the space of the wagon, and he barely fits vertically into the wagon. Like, he's a big fucking boy. And he's just super helpful. He's just like, hey man, I'm here. I'm a businessman. I'll upgrade your gear for you, bro. I'll sell you medicine. I'll sell you bullets. Whatever you need, dog. And he's just in her mansion, just chilling in like one of her guest bedrooms. And Ethan's like, "Why the fuck are you here, dude?" And he's just like, "Cause this is where I need to be. I'm here to make money, and you got money that you keep picking up from these weird werewolves. So buy shit." And he's just a real nice guy. He's real swell. I like him. I love Duke. Duke is my favorite. But you run through Demitrescu's mansion. You do the Resident Evil thing. And then the game opens up shortly after that, and I was like, oh shit, we're not doing the Resident Evil 7 thing. We're doing the Resident Evil Village thing, where the map just gets real big, and then is like, hey, go explore. There's bosses to fight in this little Romanian village area. I mean, it's not even little. The place is fucking huge. Like, there's some places you gotta take a boat to get to, like, the map is big enough that exploring every nook and cranny will take a while, and it's a Resident Evil game, so you're obviously rewarded for exploring, and I guess that's why I like this game so much, is whenever you're running around town, breaking into everybody's house and stealing all their shit, it just feels great, especially because Duke will buy whatever the fuck from you, so it's just like, cool, I just broke into this kid's house and stole her doll. Duke's gonna give me 10 grand for this shit. And I like this game. I like it a lot. I like the gun fu that this game has. And it was probably in Resident Evil 7. I just didn't notice it as much because I played it in VR. But adding a block button to your first-person shooter adds a whole new layer of depth that, like, previously I just didn't get because I never used the block button because I played this game in VR for Resident Evil 7. Like, being in boss fights where I need to, like, block and parry and shoot on time adds another layer to that game that I really like. Like, I had a good time in Resident Evil 7, or not Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8. And Ethan, I don't know, he might not be like Leon levels of Quip Master, But this man is sassy as fuck. Like, he is very upset about his daughter being kidnapped. And he is tired of doing the Resident Evil hero thing. Like, I don't know, he's not even scared that he's trapped in fucking Transylvania. He's just tired and mad. Like, he's just annoyed by all these fucking werewolves he has to shoot. And it's great. It's a good time. You know, it's, I don't know, it's almost like a Zelda setup. You get dumped in the village. There's a bunch of shit you can find if you explore. The bosses are in their own zones that you got to go to. And the game just says go. And I had a lot of fun with it. And I think it adds a lot of character to Ethan Winters, who was just kind of a cuck in Resident Evil 7. Like, he just shows up in Resident Evil 7, gets his ass whooped, and then is like, wow, I'm really going through a lot of shit just to find my life. Like, y'all played Resident Evil 7, right? Robert, obviously you did. Stephanie, did you play Resident Evil 7?
I did not finish it.
You didn't finish it?
I didn't. I'm sorry.
Well, how far did you get in?
Probably like halfway through.
Okay, then yeah, you know what Ethan went through. Shows up, gets his shit rocked by a hillbilly, gets his hand cut off, and then he has to staple it back on. Gets in a fucking chainsaw fight with a hillbilly. Like, the amount of shit Ethan goes through for his family, and you're just like, damn, this is a real family man right here. I played that game when my mom and my sister were visiting in front of them. And then Brandon and I were just kept cracking jokes about how Ethan will be fine through any injury as long as he's got Bactine. Because the amount of injuries Ethan sustains in that fucking game is goddamn ridiculous.
Yeah, doesn't he get his hand chopped off again?
Yes. And then he just puts Bactine on that bitch and it's fine.
Yeah. He's just like, let me just... To be fair, he's not entirely human.
Yeah, he did get affected in 7. So he's got those Albert Wesker bullshit powers. I mean, it makes me wonder what they're going to do with Jill Valentine.
Who knows?
Because, like, yeah, I guess now in the new continuity, she got infected in 3. So I wonder if she's going to have weird, dumb Wesker superpowers too.
See, so I haven't played 8 in a while because I got it when it came out. What do you think of the sound design? Because one thing I noticed about Resident Evil 4 is the sound design stands amazing to this day. Like, it was very creepy. Like, if there was even a single zombie still alive somewhere on the map, like, you would hear them. And they'd slowly get closer to you, would get louder and louder, and they're like dragging their like axes or something. It was great.
The sound design's probably pretty good, but like, you know, I played it on my TV speakers. For the most part, the game, it's just eerily silent. Like, you might hear the wind blowing a like window shutter open and closed, or like you might hear some running water. But for the most part, the game's just pretty atmospheric and chill. And I think that's why I like it a lot. Like, Resident Evil 8 is when you're not thrown into a clusterfuck situation, the game is very chill and relaxing. Like, the game...
Did you beat it?
Yeah, I beat it. The game knows when to have downtime.
Okay, how did you feel about the dollhouse section?
It wasn't bad. Like, it was a good puzzle zone, I guess. Like, I feel like that's probably the scariest that game gets.
100%.
But also, I didn't really find... Like, I don't think Resident Evil 8 is that scary. I honestly think Resident Evil 7 is kind of a spookier game.
It is. I would say that dollhouse section is very...
Maybe
scary.
if dolls make you uncomfortable, I was just like, okay. Like, the first time I saw the monster in that dollhouse section, I think I laughed.
You laughed?
Yeah, because it's like, what the fuck is that?
I shit my pants, bro.
Like, I was like, what is this PT shit?
Like, yeah, that was terrifying.
I don't know, bro. I was laughing because I didn't understand. I thought I was in a cutscene for a second. Because the first time I saw it, it's just running down a hallway at me. And I was like, what the fuck am I looking at? And then I realized, oh, I have control of my character. And it's like, oh shit.
Did you die?
No, I think I died. I died a total of 3 times in that game. And once was because I just was stupid at the start of the game and got wrecked by Mistress Demichedesk or whatever. And I died twice during the final boss, and that was it. Like, it's not a very difficult game on normal, which I wasn't really in the mood to have my balls crushed, so I kind of appreciate it. Like, I'm sure the survival horror elements of that game are elevated a lot if you play it on hard, but, like, I'm not good at first-person shooters, so I just wanted to have a good time rather than prove I'm a real gamer and ruin this experience for myself time.
I mean, you are a real gamer. Play Tetris.
I do play Tetris. Also, Stephanie, Robert argued with me that he did not shit on Pong on the last episode. Can you confirm that he did?
I feel like a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, he did shit on Pong.
I did a little bit.
You did shit on Pong.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
You also shit on Breakout.
whatever it is called. Yeah.
Yeah.
hmm
I just wanted to reestablish that your opinion.
I mean, it's there. It's on YouTube. There's proof.
Yeah, but in case somebody shows up for the first episode and isn't going to go back, like I just want them to know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, someone's gonna care about the lore of whether or not I shit on Pong.
The lore of the boat.
The boat lore.
Yeah. So, what else did you play this month, Robert? It's about all I got for RE8.
I also played this game called The Coffin of Andy and Lele. I didn't play the full game because it's not out yet. It's like a demo that's out now. It's about an hour long, and it's a RPG Maker game. It's, I'll say, a dark comedy
So that good shit.
that's very apt for the time because you play as Ashley,
Oh,
this girl who she's the Lele in the Andy and Lele, and Andy is Andrew, who is her brother. And you guys are trapped in a small apartment. And it literally begins and it says, "Yo, Ashley, today you gotta find some food to eat. Like, that's your mission for the day." So you're like, "All right, cool." And you're going around and there's this apartment and it just looks like shit. There's a bunch of garbage bags piled up by the door and by like a hallway. There's a bunch of dishes on the sink. There's stains on the floor. Place looks nasty. You go to the fridge and it's like, the fridge is empty. There's nothing here. And then the second thing I did was I went into this room and like I went up to the bed and it just said, "Mom and Dad fucked here." And I was like, oh. I was like, so it's that kind of game.
Like, damn.
And a lot of the humor comes from that. Like, you'll walk up to something and it'll just be her reaction to it. Usually it's really funny. And the more you play, you realize that there's been some sort of disease or outbreak that has made people have to be in quarantine in their houses. So it's very, and it's
I love escapism.
only supposed to be for 2 weeks, but it's been a couple of months now. And so it's very much like, it's kind of like COVID. So it's,
Is this game a metaphor?
could be.
Is it a parallel for our real life?
And it's got some dark humor. It's got a little weird humor. Ashley may or may not, I don't know how much of it is a joke, have a thing for her brother. Yeah, it's like it's just a fun little game. That's just the demo, and who knows where it'll go.
You know, I do fuck with RPG Maker games. The deal with RPG Maker games is the creativity in a lot of them, I feel like, is always just turned up to the max. Because, like, what the fuck else are you going to do with the gameplay?
Yeah, it's just move, react, or pick up item to do a thing. But the writing's got to be on point, and the art style is really cool. I fuck with the art style. It's very how would I put it? It's cartoony but dark. So
I mean, give me an inspiration, but
I'm gonna say if Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was rated R instead of PG-13. I guess it's not PG-13, it's PG. But
yeah, this does indeed have a Nickelodeon kind of vibe to it.
how would you pull it up?
Yeah, I don't know. It reminds me of like the Fairly Odd Parents / Danny Phantom a little bit.
Yeah.
Also, like, there's gonna be so much porn drawn of these characters. Like, holy shit!
Jesus.
This is fucking deviant art bait right here.
She's 20 and he's 22.
Perfectly legal.
So there you have it. The Coffin of Andy and Lele.
Yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this.
Oh, and again, the sound design is really good on this. Music's interesting. They do some pretty interesting things with, because it looks pretty dark and bleak when it's like the present time. And then if there's a flashback or a dream sequence or something, they do change the color palette a bit to differentiate, and it gives you a sense of like, oh, this is a different place or time. So it's neat.
Yeah, man. I'll keep an eye on the full release and then add it to my backlog of never-ending pretty good RPG Maker games.
You got any other video games you played?
I did, and this game's been on my backlog for a hot fucking minute, basically since it came out. Because this game is a sequel to another game that is very near and dear to my heart. And when this game dropped, I don't know, I didn't hear amazing things about it. So I've just been kind of putting it off because I just didn't know. Like, I didn't want it to retroactively fuck up my perspective of the first game. And that game is Hotline Miami 2. And I fucking love Hotline Miami 2. I love Hotline Miami 2 so much, I beat it 3 times.
This month?
This month.
My God.
I love this game so much, it made me go back and beat Hotline Miami 1 twice. And
Are these long games?
no.
Okay.
And to be honest with you, I think I like the second game more than I do the first. So any of you guys fucked with Hotline Miami 1? Or do you just know about it?
I have no idea what you are even talking about. So I would love to know more.
You've never seen Hotline Miami?
I don't think I have.
Okay, Robert.
You made me play it once, and I was not ready for it. So it was just death after death after death.
Okay.
And then I was like, yeah, fuck this.
Hotline Miami 1, because in order to talk about 2, you kind of need to talk about 1, is a video game inspired by the movie Drive. It is a top-down, kind of puzzly, kind of score attack game where you just play as a character named Jacket, who is not Ryan Gosling in a Letterman's jacket, who keeps receiving cryptic phone calls on his answering machine that keep telling him to do things at certain places. So want to be like, hey, your dry cleaning is ready to pick up on 3rd and West. So, come get your previously dirty laundry. Please be discreet about it. So you go to the address, you put on a rubber chicken mask, and it is your job to just murder everybody at that location. And you, for most part, some exceptions, kill everybody in one hit, and everybody else kills you in one hit. And all of these locations are always like populated with Russian mafia members. And you just like the game starts and you're not going to be good at it because that's just kind of how this game rolls. And it starts out as a puzzle game, you trying to navigate these apartment complexes and all these other areas and figure out how to get from room to room and murder everybody in the room without getting killed yourself. Because as I said, like the game is quick. If somebody looks at you, they run at you about as fast as you run. And then if they swing on you, you're just dead. There's nothing you can do about it. So you basically need to run into the building, kill everybody as quick as you can, and then bail. And Hotline Miami 1 is one of the most influential indie games ever made. I am convinced that John Wick would not look the way it does if it wasn't for Hotline Miami. We would not have games like Party Hard or Katana Zero if it wasn't for Hotline Miami. Hotline Miami has a neon synthwave soundtrack, vibe, and aesthetic that like views the lens of violence through like this glorified neon confetti. And the first game is kind of a commentary on like violence in video games. Like your character has dreams, and it's just 3 other people in different animal rubber masks asking him questions like, do you like hurting other people? Or why are you doing this? And who's leaving messages on your answering machine? Do you even care? And then at some point in the game, like, this is the why you play through the game multiple times, is because the game has a story, but like you're not going to find it on the first playthrough. And even then, if you do find it, the actual narrative of the game isn't that important. It's the meta narrative is where Hotline Miami really shines, because all of the questions the game asks are viewed from a very different lens if you take them as the questions being asked directly to the player. Why is running through this apartment building and killing 80 guys in a time span of about 58 seconds so fun? Why is it so satisfying to see that neon ×3 combo show up when you've curb stomped your 3rd Russian man into the goddamn dirt? And, Hotline Miami 1 was basically an overnight success. Like, it got huge. And the developers in numerous interviews talk about like the anxiety of like going from nobodies who are broke, who just make this little thing because they liked making it, into like video game developers superstars that now have a track record to upkeep and expectations, and how nerve-wracking it was making Hotline Miami 2 when they thought Hotline Miami 1 wrapped up in such a way that they never needed to expand on it. Which now we get to Hotline Miami 2.
Before you get to it,
What's up?
do you think the Hotline Miami 2 lived up to the hype?
I like Hotline Miami 2 a lot more than I like Hotline Miami 1. And I fucking love Hotline Miami 1. But I get why people bounced off of it or don't particularly care for it. For starters, the game is, I don't know, it's harder, I guess. Because you'll go from like Hotline Miami 1, you'll walk into an apartment complex. There's like 6 dudes on the first floor, and then there's 8 dudes on the second floor. And then that's the level. Hotline Miami 2, you walk into a fucking shopping mall, and there's like 10 dudes on the first floor, and then you walk up to the second floor, and then there's like 20 dudes, all with guns. And yeah, guns are one-shot kills, obviously. And the way guns work is if an enemy can see you, but you can't see them, sucks to suck, bud. You just got shot. So what it does is it makes you basically get real fucking good at the game. Like, the game, you can't just jump into Hotline Miami 2, narratively or gameplay-wise. Like, it assumes you've built some skills up from Hotline Miami 1. And this game, like, I would say Hotline Miami 1 only takes like an hour to beat, but it takes the average person about 6 hours to beat just due to retrying the levels. Like 4 to 6 hours. Same with Hotline Miami 2. Hotline Miami 2 is maybe like a 3-hour game that'll take somebody probably like 10 hours just because they walk into a level, get fucked up, and then just have to keep retrying the levels over and over. Hotline Miami 2 is also a lot longer of a game than Hotline Miami 1.
So is it kind of like a like how in Binding of Isaac, your first time it might take you really long, and you're probably not even going to get down the first level if you don't know what you're doing. Whereas once you kind of get the gist of it, you'll be beating a run every time you hop on.
It's not a roguelike at all, but like, yeah, you do master these levels, and like that's why I had so much fun replaying both games multiple times, is because once I had the mastery of those levels, I just kept replaying levels over and over and being like, yep, completed this level that took me fucking 15 minutes last time I played it in 1 minute and 15 seconds.
Are they procedurally generated, or
No, they are designed. Like, the replay value is in trying to
perfect?
perfect the level. So you get 1,000 points on average per murder, and after every murder, you have about 5 seconds to murder another dude before the combo meter disappears. So, like, you kill a guy, that's 1,000 points. You kill a second guy in that 5-second window, 2,000 points. Kill a third guy in that 5-second window, that gets reset every time you kill a guy. 3,000, 4,000, 5,000. So, like, your first playthrough of the game, you might barely make the par score, which is like a C. So it'll be like, this level is par scores like 40,000 points or whatever, and you'll probably hit like 41,000. And then on your next playthrough of the game, you'll hit like 100K, and it feels fucking amazing. But narratively and gameplay wise, yeah, this game is a real shakeup from Hotline Miami 1. I said, way harder. Especially because there's a lot more guns in Hotline Miami 2 and a lot more windows. So if a dude sees you through a window, he'll just shoot through that fucking window. And the camera is locked in one place unless you press a button to like look further around the level. So unless you're like constantly scouring for dudes, your first time through a level, you're probably just going to get shot from off screen, and it might piss you off in Hotline Miami 2.
So they added a new mechanic to it. Is it not like that in the first?
It's like that in the first game. It's just not as important because the levels are a lot smaller. In Hotline Miami 2, the levels are fucking huge.
So it might take you a while to find out where you're getting shot from.
I mean, it won't take you a while. It might just take you a while to figure out how to deal with it. Like, Hotline Miami 2 throws a lot more wrenches into the game. Like, the first game had dogs, and that was like, if a dog sees you, it runs at breakneck speed, and you got to kill it basically instantly, or you just get fucked and die instantly. Hotline Miami 2, you'll walk into a level, and there's like 6 dogs in a map. And then there's like 5 big boys, which are dudes who can't be beat with melee weapons. Like, you have to shoot them. And they can take basically they can take like 5 shots until they die. Like, if you shoot them once, they'll start bleeding out. but they'll still keep running at you for 5 seconds until they bleed out and die. So it's just a lot more problems to deal with than there was in the first game. But also the narrative of Hotline Miami 2, it's a sequel, a sidequel, and a prequel to Hotline Miami 1.
That's interesting.
And you're not following one character, you're following like 10. So I get why a lot of the people didn't fuck with the narrative, because Hotline Miami's one story, like excluding the meta narrative shit, isn't that complicated. Hotline Miami 2's narrative is viciously fucking complicated, and I didn't even understand what happened at the end of the game until I looked it up. Like, I just misinterpreted something, and I was like, oh shit, that changes the way this whole entire game works.
You have to look up and explain afterwards.
Like, now that I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh, that's obviously what happened. But I was just like, oh, I did not understand that's what happened. Because, like, the first game is very surreal, and so is the second game. So, like, trying to differentiate what is actually happening and what is happening in a character's head is sometimes pretty difficult. And,
See, and I can sometimes be a little slow.
yeah, no, I think you'd like the first game. I don't know if you'd fuck with the second game.
I'll give the first one a shot, though. Is this something you would recommend to anyone?
No, I would not recommend Hotline Miami 2 to anybody. I'd recommend it to people who fucking love Hotline Miami 1.
Does the first one have more of a easier intro, easier opening?
As I said, the first game's not complicated. People leave messages on your answering machine. The game kind of assumes the player is just only interested in murder and is going to skip all those messages, and you just go to the location and you murder dudes. And then afterwards,
Do you get anything out of not ignoring them? Like, is there something there?
I mean, it's easier to put together the actual narrative if you don't. Like, there's newspaper clippings. Like, the dude you're playing as in the first game keeps newspaper clippings around of his murders, which, like, add context to what he's doing. But I genuinely think, because, as I said, I don't think the main narrative of Hotline Miami 1 is as interesting as the meta narrative of Hotline Miami 1, unless you play 2. 2 adds, like, context to the first game that actually makes it an interesting, like, narrative piece. And it does it does have that meta narrative to it. Like, most of the characters are metaphors for, like, real life people. So, like, there's a journalist character in Hotline Miami 2 who you have to play all of his levels non-lethal, and those are probably my favorite fucking levels. Like, I was playing this game and I beat it 3 times, and then I had my significant other come over and she played one of his levels. And I didn't know you could kill people in his levels. Like, I didn't know if you, like, because when you knock a dude down, you press X to, like, knock him out and finish him. I didn't know if you just keep hitting the X button, you fucking kill them. Like, you just keep beating them until they're mincemeat. And I was like, holy shit. But, like, he's a stand-in for all the people who wanted to know a lot more about Hotline Miami 1 story. Like, he's literally a journalist investigating the events of the first game and is trying to write a book on it. You have a group of wannabe masked killers who just think the main character from the first game is neat and cool and glorify him. So they literally just run into random mafia hotspots and, like, other gang hotspots and then just start shooting people because they think it's neat.
That's what you do, you know?
The tone of Hotline Miami 1 is, I don't know, bro, like, it's basically the tone of Drive. Like, it's like fucking, yeah, it's kind of sad, but it's also like, yeah, gonna run into this building, murder all these dudes. Damn, look at Ryan Gosling, be cool. And then the fucking tone of Hotline Miami 2 is just fucking sad. Like, that game is fucking somber, and I vibe with it.
I'm just gonna say real quick. Have you watched Drive?
I watched, like, the first half.
Okay, because I was like, if you think that that movie's like, yeah, I mean, it's kind of just sad.
I mean, I get that it's also, yeah, but, like,
A lot of people, however, think it's yeah.
that's kind of the point of the first game. But the second game is it views violence from all these different angles and lenses, and every single one of them is sad. Like, the copycat killers in 2, they're supposed to be the hype fun murderers from the first game, because murder is fun in the first game, but it gives you context for what's happening, and it's not fun. It's actually kind of fucking horrifying what you're doing, what you're enjoying doing to these people. And that's my piece on Hotline Miami 2, bro. I love this fucking game. I'll probably replay through it again. And the gameplay itself is so good that I'll just replay these levels whenever, but also it's got a level editor on the PC version, and it's got workshop support for literally infinite replayability.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you. I think I have them on PlayStation because you have them on PlayStation.
I own both games on PC and both games on PlayStation.
Okay, and I just bought them on PC.
I've beaten them on both.
What do you? I bought them on PC because I thought maybe this will be a fun Steam Deck game.
The controller controls are really hard to get used to. Like I did, and that's how I'm used to playing the game. But obviously, shooting somebody from top down with a mouse is way easier than it is a controller.
Okay, so keyboard and mouse is probably the better way to go.
Yeah, especially when like you missing is you dying. Like you're gonna make way more mistakes if you play this game on a PlayStation controller than you are keyboard and mouse. So I would just recommend the PC version if you can. I said Hollow Mammy 1, everybody should play it. Hollow Mammy 2, I love it. But that's a Jake opinion, and we don't trust those around here.
All right. We also played Demonologist.
We did do that.
Jake and I played this game. Stephanie, this is a game I wish you could play with us. I don't think it has Mac support.
Yet. I think it's still early access, so there's no way there's a Mac port out right now.
It's very graphics intensive. It does look really good.
Oh yeah, it runs like shit on my PC sometimes, dude.
And this is a game where you play as a group of, I want to say ghost hunters, but it's not just ghosts. It could be demons. It could be...
They're ghosts. It's just different types of ghosts.
A demon isn't a ghost, though.
It behaves like a ghost and acts like a ghost.
You're a group of ghost hunters, and you can play with up to 4 people. You grab a bunch of different things to investigate.
Yeah, so Stephanie, have you heard of Phasmophobia?
I have.
Okay, so you know what the deal is? Have you seen videos on it or played it?
Yes.
Okay, so it is a Phasmophobia clone, but I believe it's made in Unreal, so it, 1, looks a lot better, and 2, the scripting on it is a lot more complex. Like, the scary thing in Phasmophobia is, like, the ghost coming to get you, right? In
Demonologist.
fucking Demonologist, whatever location you're in is haunted, and it hates you. Like, I have shit myself screaming multiple times playing this game due to things that are not related to the ghost.
There is so many jump scares.
Yeah, that are just programmed all over the fucking map, and you could just step on one of these jump scare landmines at any time. Like, there's a hospital level, and I was just walking with Robert, my sister, and myself down this hallway, and then I just see a woman on all fours backwards running down the hallway at breakneck fucking speed crawling, and I screamed and shit myself, and nobody else saw it. Like, my roommates are just like, damn bro, you good? And I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like, this game's fucking spooky.
And this game does the Phasmophobia thing too, where you have it picks up your mic, and so it knows what you're doing. Like, there's a specific ghost that if you cuss a lot, that pisses it off and it comes for you more. There's a lot of places around the map, or all the maps, where there will be like a word either carved onto a wall or written in blood somewhere. And if you say the word out loud, it'll trigger some sort of spooky thing that will happen. And it's just a fun time. There is various items throughout any of the maps. Like, there's Ouija boards, there's tarot card deck, there's a voodoo doll, and if you're holding it, it triggers haunt to happen, like where the ghost is out trying to kill you. So this will be a fun way for Jake to find out. On that hospital level, typically any level, if you're standing outside the door that you go into the building, you're safe. The ghost can't get you out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, playing this hospital level, and Jake is kind of the scaredy cat of the group.
No, I literally went outside to get something. Fuck you.
So when given the opportunity, he'll stay in the truck watching cameras, or he'll be outside the door. And so he's standing outside the door, and the 3 of us are inside, like in the hospital. And all of a sudden the ghost starts. And this is like, as soon as we start the mission, the haunt starts. This isn't normal. Normally you get some time to like explore a little before the ghost comes after you.
I did. Okay, see, here's the deal. What actually happened was I was the first one in the hospital by myself with the EMF reader, and I picked up level 5 ghost readings immediately, and then the ghost is like, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And I was like, okay, I'm leaving. And then as you guys were walking in, that's when I was like, nope, I'm gonna wait for the ghost to be done doing his fucking thing till I come back in.
See, this is what Jake thinks happened. What really happened is I was the first one inside the hospital. And the first thing I found was the voodoo doll. And so I picked up the voodoo doll and I pushed all the pins into it, which is a guaranteed instantly trigger a haunt. And so it started the haunt. And then Jake, who was supposed to be safe and sound outside the doors, the ghost somehow still got him. Like maybe the walls weren't, what do you call it?
The collision detection was fucked.
The collision detection didn't work quite well. So the ghost literally just went up to Jake and just murdered him as he's supposedly standing outside safe. It was a really good time.
Yeah, so 1, thanks for getting me killed. 2, that was horseshit. 3, I was doing my job most of the time. Y'all are just fucking mean. I was like, okay, we have a camera set up. We need to see if the ghost shows up on camera. There's no reason for me to be in the room with the fucking ghost. I'm going to the van. And then y'all be like, wow, what a fucking pussy bitch. He's a fucking little scaredy cat. He's fucking doesn't want to sit in the room with us and get his fucking neck broke.
I mean, if the shoe fits.
Fuck you.
Oh my gosh.
It's really fun too because not only will you see things, and if like the other people aren't looking, you just won't see it. They won't see it and you will. Sometimes the ghost will talk specifically to you and no one else will hear it. So sometimes you like walk into a room and you're like, and then you'll just hear 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, and you're just like, what the fuck's gonna happen? And so you might just run out and be like, guys, and everyone's like, what, bro? Chilling. EMF readings, nothing's happening. There's no one here. We're fine. But you heard something.
Yeah, no. There's a time where Robert and I were in a hallway and like we're looking for shit, and then the walls start bleeding and then bones start popping out of the walls. And then him and I are just like, oh fuck. And then my sister and my significant other are just like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? What the fuck are you looking at? We didn't see anything.
Yeah, because it just looked like a regular, like the moment they opened the door, it was just a regular hallway. We literally just saw that thing turn into like, I don't even know. It was just terrifying.
Bro, we were in fucking Hellraiser
Yeah.
for like 5 seconds. And I was like, what is happening?
And they constantly update it too. And like, there's just different scares or scares that will happen or won't happen in the same spot. It's, if you're trying to get scared, it's a fun way to do it.
I just have fun with it as a co-op game because the whole point is you do the phasmophobia thing of guess the ghost type. So gather enough evidence to figure out what kind of ghost you're dealing with. And then you have 3 objectives you need to do on the map. And then after those 3 objectives are done, you can exorcise the ghost, which each map has its own specific way of doing.
I've never been alive to exercise the ghost, by the way.
I have exorcised the ghost many a time.
I'm always in there and I'm like, all right.
You're always in there when you don't need to be in there is your fucking problem.
No. It'll be like, we need to get something and I'll like grab it and then I'll die.
But it is a fun co-op time. That is the value in this game to me. I enjoy co-op multiplayer games with my friends.
It's also really fucking scary.
I can just get drunk enough eventually to the point where I'm good.
That literally means it's scary though. If you have to get drunk in order for it to be good.
Look, man, I don't know what you want from me, all right? I just said that the game was fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun because it's scary. Demonologist, great time.
Stephanie, talk about your week.
What do you mean? What?
Did you watch something? Did you read something?
Are we moving down? Are you guys done?
I think that's all of our games.
That is all of our games, actually.
Yeah, man, it's your time to shine.
All right, Captain. Which one are we going to next now? Are we going to go to movies?
What do you want to talk about?
I'm okay with whatever.
Since you didn't have any games, I'll let you choose what the next category is.
I'm okay then. So I'm guessing just movies.
What are you super excited to talk about, Stephanie?
I mean, I guess we'll start with movies. So, yeah. I will start off with a movie that I did not like, and I'm really sad that I actually watched this. And it's called Cha Cha Real Smooth. And it was supposed to be a romantic comedy, and it was just kind of sad. Like, not in a good way. So, also too, I guess mine comes with like a disclaimer. In this movie, there is just a lot of stuff that happens there's like bullying, and also too there is like mentions of miscarriages and different things like that, and it's kind of gory. So just throwing that out there. As the doctor of this ship, if you all need anything, again, going to clinic, checking out like different mental health resources. But this movie is just ridiculous. I just want to say that. It's literally about this dude that falls in love with basically an older woman. And this older woman
Hell yeah.
is the woman from 50 Shades of Grey. And so
Hell yeah.
it is just wild. Like, I wish I could also be like, hell yeah, but it is just weird. He's 22, and I think she's like in her 40s, I think she's supposed to be. She does have a kid, and this kid just happens to be like on the spectrum. And so it's basically about this dude that's only 22, and he is like the party starter for bar mitzvahs. And that's where he meets this lady. And how they first interact is that he actually like sees her and they're like, "Oh, hey, how are you doing?" And then they continue to see her at different bar mitzvahs. Because I guess with this community, I don't remember where it takes place, but basically they go to every single one of them. And also too, I think the daughter, it must just be like, again, all these kids are having their bar mitzvahs at the same time. Because of course, too, right? Culture, different things like that. But anyway, so the next time he sees her, he's literally in the bathroom with her. She's in like a woman's bathroom, right? She's in the stall, and he just notices that there's blood everywhere. And so it's just really interesting. And I guess during this time, you see her drinking throughout the whole time, which again, right? You do you, but then you end up finding out that she has somebody that she's going to get married to. And then she's out partying. And also, too, there's a point where, like, I guess the main dude is like taking care of the daughter, like babysitting. And then daughter is gonna go to sleep, and all of a sudden 50 Shades of Grey lady is like, "Oh yeah, we should do something." And he's like, "I don't think you're into it." And it's just like very weird. I just don't think like the actors have really good chemistry. And so it's kind of wild. And basically he like ends up getting like a real job, and this is a huge thing. There was just a lot going on, and honestly, I didn't like the way it ended. And you do see like the dude that she's with, and it's just wild. So that's Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Is it a young dude she's with?
Yeah, he's 22. Or wait, no. So
The guy you see at the end or whatever.
no, he's probably like the same age as her. He's like very, I guess, well off. They mentioned that he's like a lawyer and different things like that, but he travels out of town a lot. So
You really sold me on not watching this fucking movie.
yeah, it was not that great. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So this is a warning.
This is literally a warning. And I don't know, maybe some people will really like it. Because there are like some cute moments in it, but it's just like, I didn't think it was that good.
I don't know, does the movie have anything to say, or is it just like, what's the point?
I guess the point of it is that this like young dude really thinks that he's in love with her. And she's basically saying like, no, like you don't know what you want yet because you're so young. And it's like really weird because it ends with like, hey, this like young dude being like, I think I'm your soulmate, but also too, I think this older guy that you're with, he's your soulmate as well. And like, I just wish the best for you. And then he like never sees the daughter, and the daughter really likes him. So it's just like a weird time, a really weird time.
It was in fact not Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Yeah, I was about to say, or
You know, based on the name alone, I had pretty high expectations for this movie. I'm very disappointed.
let me tell you, it's just like when they play Cha Cha Real Smooth at like the worst times. That's what this movie kind of was. All right,
Like, is the song actually in the movie?
I think once.
Oh, it fucking has to be. Like,
Yeah, well,
if
that's
you
what I'm
named your
saying.
movie Cha Cha Real Smooth, and you didn't put in Cha Cha Real Smooth, what the fuck are you doing? Fire that producer.
Yeah, it would be a waste.
Well, let me tell you, I wish it was like more of a central theme, but like I said, it's only played like one time during the movie, and he's a party starter.
I wish Cha Cha was the center of this movie, but
Let me tell you.
I mean, it's the title, so one would think.
you know, what is Cha Cha Real Smooth mean in the grand metaphor of this piece of media?
Nothing, apparently.
I was like, literally, absolutely nothing. I think when he like plays this too, he's not supposed to drink because, of course, right? He's like supposed to be at this bar mitzvah, and it's for all of these kids.
What?
And it's just kind of wild. Like he just gets hella drunk and then starts playing Cha Cha Real Smooth, and then the girl ends up getting bullied. It's just a wild time.
Are Jewish birthday parties like lame?
I'm gonna tell you right now, the ones that were in this movie, I don't know.
Because like I've been to like Mexican kid birthday parties, and every adult's just getting fucking blasted. So that's just kind of how family birthday parties work in my head in a Hispanic household.
I think I could understand that. I think, and now I'm trying to think, like, I don't know, but would you want like your DJ like getting really messed up?
Well, I don't like.
And then it's
Yeah, he did. My uncle,
oh,
my uncle Chris. Like, I basically before when I turned 9, that's when I was allowed to like plan my own parties and like fucking invite my own friends and shit. But before then, your parents just do all that shit for you because you're a dumb kid and you can't organize shit. So like it's just like all your extended family comes over and then it's a barbecue and then they hand you your presents and then they get blasted. That is young child birthday parties to me.
so I guess I just have a question, Jake. Did you like still invite your Theo Chris, or were you just like, nah?
I mean, I thought he was fun.
He's like, he was the life of the party. Of course,
He really
that
was.
He didn't play cha cha real smooth.
I think they did, to be honest with you. It was like that, Electric Avenue, and fucking Brick House on repeat. Like, is this like Robert? Were your like little kid birthday parties like that, or little kid birthday parties for like other family members like that, or no? Is this just a me thing?
So my little kid birthday parties were we would open up our garage. There'd be some tables in there. My parents would rent a jumper or bouncy castle. That's what.
Yeah, same. See,
And then like it was just all the kids from around the neighborhood would show up. You get food and there's music. The adults were probably drinking. I didn't care. I didn't notice. I was jumping on the bouncy house. And then eventually I'd get to open gifts. I'd get my head shoved in a cake at some point.
that's fucked up.
It was a good time. That happened every year till I was like probably 17, 18.
Y'all want to know a weird fever dream I have for being a kid? Speaking of like one of those birthday parties, it was when I was living in Sela. Like it was one of those little kid birthday parties where all the extended family is over and a bunch of kids you don't know because they're all fucking newborns you never met before till now. And I got like I swear to God this is real, but I have not found evidence of it being real. A jam pack demo disc for PlayStation 2 that had a copy of Half-Life 1 on it. And I've not found any evidence of Half-Life 1 being on the PlayStation 2. But I swear this is fucking real.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's my side tangent.
Well, it was Xbox.
I mean, I had an Xbox also, but
Cha-cha real smooth.
cha-cha real smooth.
Yep. So let's cha cha to the next person. Who else watched the movie?
Sick segue.
Jake, what you watch?
Hey guys, I watched that D&D movie. Of course I did. No shit I did.
Don't say it. Say it. It's fine.
Like, who else was gonna watch the fucking Dungeons and Dragons movie if not me? Yeah, so Dungeons and Dragons movie. It is another game about, or not game, another fucking piece of media about a dad looking for his daughter. Stars Chris Evans, Michelle Rodriguez, the lady from Fast and Furious, the hot one.
Chris Evans is in it?
Not Chris Evans. Chris Pine. You know Chris Pines. He was in Wonder Woman.
It's in Star Trek.
He was in Star Trek. Yeah, I love Chris Pines. Chris Pines. There's who else is in this movie? Who's that fucking guy from Notting Hill? Hugh Grant. He's in it. There's a couple of other actors in it that I don't really want to spoil for anybody because I didn't know they were in the fucking movie and I laughed my ass off when I found out they were in this movie. But this movie is about Chris Pine and his homie Michelle Rodriguez ending up in jail after a job gone wrong because they're thieves. And then they break out of jail and then they realize like somebody basically kidnapped his daughter while he was in jail. And now they're planning a heist to get her back. So this is basically just a heist movie, but it is also a very fun D&D adventure movie. And I like this movie a lot. It is a very fun adventure movie, and that's kind of all I need a movie to be for me to like it, especially a Dungeons and Dragons movie. Like they have all the dumb fan service you'd expect. You'd be like, oh, look, it's a tiefling, or oh, look, it's a fucking Aarakocra or a Tabaxi. And by the way, like the monster races in this movie are done with like practical effects. And they look like fucking freaks. Like, I know in the D&D handbook, it's just like, yeah, people kind of discriminate between other races. And I'm like, yeah, if they looked like this, I would be too, bro. Like, fuck.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yo, no, you don't understand how shit the Tabaxis look. Like, they look fucking weird, Robert. Like, there's a Tabaxi baby in this movie, and it looks so fucking weird.
It looks so ugly that I'm going to excuse racism.
You kinda, dude. Like the fucking dragon people, the fucking cat people, the bird people, they look fucked up in this movie, dude. Like, I could not stop laughing the first time I saw them. But yeah, it's a good adventure movie. Like, you got your party. You got Chris Pines, who's a human rogue. You got a sorcerer half elf. You got Michelle Rodriguez, who's a barbarian. You got a tiefling druid. You got all your special little snowflakes who will have their own reasons for going on this little special adventure, and it's fun. I had a good time in this movie. Such a good time in this movie that I saw it twice.
All right, now I'm gonna say something.
And I'm
gonna say something.
fucking upset.
I know. I said don't say anything, but now I'm gonna say something.
What?
You watched it twice?
I watched it twice.
Okay.
I like this movie. Okay. What do you want from me?
Yeah, no, I figured you would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm fucking mad at this movie, is I wish everybody could, like, celebrate this movie.
Yeah, I wish we were invited to the celebration.
I know, it was like sick invite.
Okay, well, both times I went, I was not expecting to go. So y'all could have planned your own movie night and come over here, or had me go down there. The way it went is, hey, Jake, we're seeing it tomorrow. You coming or nah? And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm going. And the other time was like, kind of want to see this movie. And I was like, do you want to go watch it? And she's like, yeah, let's do that today. And I was like, okay. So fuck y'all.
My fault for not living in Spokane.
Pretty much.
Same.
As I said, both days, it was like on a weekday. What do you want from me, bro? Were you going to fucking haul ass over here on a fucking Thursday?
Yes.
Guess we'll never know.
I guess we'll never know. Whatever. As I said, I wish everybody could, like, celebrate and love this movie. But, like, Wizards of the Coast doing their stupid, dumb bullshit left everybody with such a sour taste in their mouth that, like, nobody wants to watch this fucking movie. Which, understandable. Like, yeah, boycott shitty companies that are shitty, sure. But, like, Wizards of the Coast just shot this thing that should be celebrated square in the fucking face. Like, yeah, this movie, I guess, pissed off a lot of hardcore old school D&D fans, because it's kind of got the vibe of a Marvel movie. Like, it's very quippy. Like, there's a lot of bits and a lot of jokes. There's nothing, like, overly complicated happening, but it's, like, a pretty good Marvel movie. Like, I'd give it a Thor Ragnarok out of 10. But no, Wizards of the Coast tried to fucking fuck up the OGL, and then also selling these expensive ass bullshit D&D or fucking Magic the Gathering cards that nobody wants. And then, sending Pinkertons to a dude's house.
Yeah, that was kind of wild.
Yeah, so, I guess I'm a fucking corpo slave for saying that I like this movie.
Does this movie have any sort of tie-in to the 2000 Dungeons and Dragon movie with the Waynes in it?
No, because this movie takes place in the Forgotten Realms, which is the standard D&D setting. That's where all the Baldur's Gate games take place. And, like, Neverwinter, and also Robert and I have played D&D campaigns in the Forgotten Realms. So, like, if you know a little bit of D&D Forgotten Realms lore, you'll be like, oh, so, okay, so that's what Neverwinter looks like. Or you'll be like, oh, okay, so that's what an owlbear realized in 3D would look like. Or, hey, that's what an illusion spell would look like in real life. And this movie's pretty fucking funny. Like, I didn't need my Lord of the Rings adventure, because, to me, all of my friends are fucking idiots. That's not really how we play D&D. It is more, I don't know, Community, I guess. Like, that episode of Community where they play D&D is probably the most accurate portrayal of how we play D&D that I could think of. And I guess that rubbed some people the wrong way, because it wasn't an epic fantasy tale enough.
So it's more like the game than, say, something Matt Mercer would do.
I mean, Matt Mercer does run the game like that, but I don't know, man. Like, I would say it's pretty close. Like, obviously, the narrative is not going to be as deep, because Critical Role has, like, 100 4-hour episodes, and this movie is like an hour and a half long. So I wouldn't say it's, like, fair to compare those narratives. But, like, this movie also, like, shows a platonic male-female lead friendship that I like a lot. Like, Michelle Rodriguez and Chris Pines are just legitimate homies with a bromance. And I think it's nice for a movie to just do that without them having to realize they love each other and make out at the end. Like, they're two separate people with their own two separate set of problems, and they're just not interested in each other that way. But they do, like, love and care about each other and support each other. And I like their relationship in this movie a lot. Like, there's a scene where Michelle Rodriguez's character is kind of depressed due to her shitty home life. And then Chris Pines just busts out a lute and then starts singing her favorite song. And then they start singing it together. and then it cheers her up immediately. And I'm like, oh, that's sweet.
That does sound sweet.
And I think this movie does a good job of portraying the themes of like playing Dungeons and Dragons. Like this movie's about fucking up and powering through failure, and that's kind of what it's like to play D&D. Like nothing's ever going to go according to plan. Your rolls or your dice are just going to fuck you, and then you just got to roll with it. You got to run with it. And I said, I like this movie a lot. It was good. I had a fun time. Too bad we can't just sit here and enjoy this movie. Instead, we got to talk about Wizards of the Coast and all the garbage they fucking do.
It's fine.
And probably, yeah, we'll probably not get a sequel to this fucking movie or another movie in the D&D universe, which is fucking ripe with shit they could do because of Wizards of the Coast and their dog shit. Like, I feel like if they didn't try to fuck up the OGL, this movie would have done hotcakes. Everybody would be talking about the shit. Like, my dad was excited to see this movie. I was like, damn, we got the normies in, but you fucking pushed away the fans. Cool. Great. Excuse me while I go eat my fucking dice.
It's not like outside influences on media in Hollywood can really do damage to things.
I don't know, man. Like, a lot of people are just like, no, don't get the normies in D&D. They'll ruin it. And like, you could just not play with them. I don't care. Let everybody play tabletop RPGs. They're fun. Who cares? Yeah, that's my piece on D&D. I guess I'm a tabaxi racist now, so that's something I just learned about myself. What did you watch, Robert?
So I didn't watch anything on a backlog sort of note. Every movie I watched was brand spanking new.
I can't talk shit. D&D just came out this month. Or Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves.
And I didn't watch the first one alone. I watched it with Stephanie. We watched John Wick 4, which somehow lives up to the hype and is probably the best one of them all. With the only thing like the first John Wick is just so iconic that it might be in the number one spot because it like introduced it all. But John Wick 4 definitely just improves on every single cylinder, and it's wild.
Pretty high praises, bud.
It's a 3-hour movie almost. It's like 2 hours.
Holy shit.
It's like 2 hours, 49 minutes. I did not feel it at all. I was like entertained the entire way through, and I just did not even notice how long it was. How did you feel about it, Stephanie?
Yeah, I agree. It was really amazing to watch. And yeah, it was kind of wild. I feel like if it was shorter, like it just wouldn't have been as good because it ties it up pretty good.
It really does. And Jake, speaking about judo, it's got plenty of takedowns in it. The cast is amazing. Both the people that are like have been there forever and the new characters in it work so well. It literally like, so I haven't fully gotten into Hotline Miami, but the movie literally becomes Hotline Miami.
Robert, John Wick wouldn't look the way it does without Hotline Miami.
Okay, and all I'm saying is like it just becomes the video game, and you'll understand what I mean when you watch it. Like it's so beautiful. Like building that set must have been wild, and filming that sequence. Oh my god! Like, and it works out so well. It's hilarious. It's got so much action. It's just perfect. Like,
I'm actually really glad to hear that because I know the third movie is like my least favorite out of the three I've seen.
I liked it.
Like the second movie is probably my favorite. I didn't like hate it, but I was just like, damn, I feel like this is kind of a dip in quality. They could probably just make an infinite amount of these and start milking the shit out of this franchise. But I mean, if number 4 is just fucking up there, then like, cool.
Not only is it up there, I think the last one. I don't think they will be making another one. And if they do, it'd be like I don't know how they'd do that. Like Stephanie said, it wraps up everything pretty elegantly. Like there's even one thread where you're like, oh well, I guess they could do this. They could explore this, and then if you just wait past the end credits, they wrap that up too. So there is an end credit scene for this one. If anyone's gonna go to the movie theater and wants to watch it, and wait, it's worth it. The music is so good too. Like there was a scene where this song comes on, and I was just like, "Fuck yeah!" You couldn't have picked a better song for this. It's so good. Never stops.
Yeah, I'm assuming the action choreography and music's gonna be on fucking point because all 4 John Wick movies. Well, the first 3, yeah, no shit. The action choreography and the music choices are really fucking good. My biggest beef with John Wick 3 is I don't really like the narrative choices, but like if they make up for it in 4, that's totally fine.
I mean, it leads into it. Like 3 was necessary.
Stephanie, do you have any opinions or thoughts about this movie?
Yeah, I just thought it was really awesome. Also, too, like, You definitely, well, I guess you don't really have to like watch the other ones as well. You really could just go and just watch this movie. Of course, the other ones I think are pretty good too, though. But yeah, it was just really awesome. A lot of action, a lot of feels, just all of the things.
I mean, how are the double taps?
There's some triple taps in there.
Are they okay? I was gonna say, do they even get more ludicrous? Because double tapping somebody at point blank with a shotgun,
There's ridiculous kills in there.
it's magic. It's magic, Robert.
There were times where, and like I said, I felt almost a little weird because there were times where something would happen and Stephanie and I would laugh, but it was just us laughing.
I feel like those movies have a lot of like, I don't know, it might be intentional comedy or unintentional. I don't care. It's funny.
I feel like it's intentional. There's no way you accidentally,
There is comedy in brutality
and there is
and excess.
10 out of 10 on this one. I don't think a single second of film was wasted.
Oh, yeah, it was a 3-hour fucking movie. Yeah, I would assume some of it would be shit. But I guess if we're all there, then all right, then put it on the fucking backlog.
Go fucking watch it, especially kids.
I bet you children love this film.
I mean, it's the guy from Fortnite, bro.
What? Oh, shut the fuck up.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Stephanie, what else did you watch this month?
All right. So one that I was really excited about was Suzume. And oh my gosh, I thought it was amazing. I really loved it. I really like a lot of his movies. This is the same dude that basically made Your Name, also To Weathering with You, and Garden of Words, I think, maybe. But anyway, his animation style is freaking amazing. And the same thing kind of happens with this one as well. With this movie, there is a lot of supernatural stuff. So basically, it's about people that are closers and basically like they close doors to other realms. And so Suzume is helping a closer and they just get into a lot of different shenanigans. And there's also like demons and all of this other stuff. So I would say Weathering with You is still at top of my list just because for one, that soundtrack is like amazing. But Suzume is like definitely up there though. It is pretty good. And I don't know, the love story is a little interesting in a way that it's not so great, but it's not the worst. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
How spicy are we talking here?
Well,
How taboo are we getting here?
I'm pretty sure she's still in high school and he is a grad student.
Ooh.
But like you don't see them kiss or anything either.
That's pretty standard for Japan, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Nah, he knows how to close the doors before you see it.
Oh my
Mhm.
word.
Mhm.
Well, also too, this is also in the trailers, but he turns into a chair. So
Oh, okay, sold.
yeah, there's an interesting scene with that. But anyway, so
I gotta ask.
Oh,
I gotta
no.
ask.
Oh,
I gotta
no.
ask.
He sits in the
Oh,
chair,
So he
doesn't
turns
he?
into a chair and she sits on the chair.
This is a lot of fucking fetish bait.
I mean, you
What kind of movie is this,
know,
Stephanie?
Does she use the chair as a stepping stool?
I mean, you will all just have to watch the movie.
That's a yes. She absolutely steps on him. I mean, the chair.
I mean, it's still a good movie. Again, it's not all about that. And I guess also too,
It's not all about stepping on men.
not this time. Not this time around. But I guess a lot of people were kind of mad because I guess the director or kind of like the mind behind this movie didn't want to use kind of the two people that he ended up using. But I mean, it is what it is. It's still pretty good. And I think actually this movie got better ratings than any of his other movies. So it's just really interesting. I don't know. That's my opinion on it.
He didn't want to use the voice actors for the two main characters, or what do you mean?
No, I think he actually wanted to go for basically like two women falling in love, but people were like, whoa, that's like way too spicy. Which honestly, if it were probably two women, it would have been like a completely different story. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, I think it probably would have done a little bit better, but I don't know. I don't know.
Well, Japan does hate women and gay people, so that checks out.
But they like chairs
They like chairs.
It's very true. Very true.
and doors.
And demons. But anyway, so it was a good movie. Would recommend.
Would recommend. Watch this man get stepped on by a high schooler.
Oh my gosh, let's not say it like that.
Yeah. When you put it that way.
Never mind.
Quite the
my
tagline.
gosh.
If you put anime in context, Robert, it usually makes it sound way worse. Like, I was having a conversation about this the other day. Like, Robert fucking nags on me for, like, not wanting to talk to people who like anime. I stand by that decision.
What was this conversation you had? Let's hear it.
Like, my significant other was talking about how she...
Do you want to put your significant other on blast right now?
No, she's just like, yeah, so I was in a waiting room waiting for a thing, and there's another dude in the waiting room waiting for a thing, and he was just watching like ecchi anime on his phone with the speakers on full blast.
I am sorry.
See, that's
And I was like, what? Start a conversation with him. What? You tell me I'm shy and don't talk to people about anime and stuff. You judge me for not talking to weebs. Why don't you talk to them? And she's like, shut up.
see. I also don't watch those anime, so I don't know what I would even say.
Bitch, you watched Up Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon. Shut your fucking mouth.
I watched one episode and it
sure.
wasn't like, okay, so what am I gonna do? Oh yeah, good taste. I watched one episode of How to Not Pick Up a Girl in a Dungeon. We must be connoisseurs of the same material. I mean, I watched the what's that one? Is that considered that kind of anime? The Dress Up Darling?
Yes. What the fuck? That is an ecchi anime. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Is it, or is it like slice of life?
No, even the mangas are like wrapped. Dude.
Ecchi is slice of life, Robert.
Are those wrapped? Are those wrapped?
They are. Yeah.
Dress Up Darling? Oh shit. All right, I've watched one and it's wholesome. I swear, I stand by that.
I don't know, bro. I've seen my fair share of hot anime trash, which is like, I don't want to talk. Like, that's how I know. I've seen a lot of anime in my time, and that's how I know I don't want to talk to people that watch anime.
Actually, you know what? You're right. Like, I'll put it. If I wouldn't watch it while I'm waiting for the doctor for something, which I wouldn't watch Dress Up Darling at the doctor's office with the volume on. So,
like, if I meet another human being who like says they've watched Vandred, I want a fucking restraining order.
hey, Stephanie, what was one of the first anime you ever showed me?
That's a good question.
Was it Vandred?
Nah, it was XXXholic, bro.
Yeah, I was about to be like, I think so.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Like,
And Gungrave.
I don't know about y'all, but I was in that like
And I think there was another one, but we won't.
anime guts. Like, I used to watch anime on YouTube, so it was literally just whatever I could get. Rosario plus Vampire, or not Rosario plus Vampire. What's the fucking vampire one where the dude goes to a fucking monster girl high school?
I don't know. I was gonna say Helsing, but then or Helsing Ultimate, but then you said high school.
No, it was Rosario plus Vampire. Okay, yeah. Watch that shit. Watch fucking Vandred. Watch... I actually don't want to list the amount of shit I watched.
Jake's like, I actually don't want to.
I don't want to get put on a fucking list, bro, because some of this shit, I didn't realize it was sussy until it was too late.
Wait, is Vandred like...
I was like, I'm sorry. Wait, hold on.
Is Vandred bad?
Bruh, I like the plot of Vandred is it's like the human race has split itself in two in a weird race war. So all the men have split off from all the women, and like they don't intermingle anymore, and they're at war, and like the men just like grow men in test tubes, and that's how they have babies, and everybody is gay, and then like the women just all grow semen in a tube and then use that to get pregnant. And then it's about a kid who ends up like on a fucking all-female pirate ship, and he's got a crush on a girl on the ship, and that's taboo because he's straight. And he's like, wow, this is weird. Never felt like this towards anybody before, but that's because it's a fucking sausage fest on my planet. And it's about them fixing misogyny slash... What's the opposite of misogyny? What's man-hating called? Whatever. He's about to fix relationship between the sexes. And it's just an excuse to show a lot of fucking fan service, bud.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't think I would have in a million years guessed that something called Vandred.
Well, see, because the male army uses these ships called vanguards, and the female army uses these ships called dreadnoughts. And when they smash together, they make a whole new kind of robot called a Vandred.
Interesting.
Don't watch this fucking show.
I don't think I will.
How do we get here?
Moving on to the next movie.
Jake, what else did you watch?
Intermission time, and then I'll tell you what I watched.
So Stephanie, what was it though? Because there was Gungrave and then there was another one. I definitely don't think it was fucking Vandred.
No, I don't think I showed you another one though.
You did. It also had to do with guns.
It did. I guess it wasn't Helsing.
It wasn't Helsing.
Oh, I don't know.
There's Gungrave. Is Gungrave the one that just came out again?
No, that's Trigun. Did I show you
Trigun. It was Trigun. It was
Yeah.
Trigun. Trigun.
I didn't
and
show you
Gungrave.
Gungrave though. I think I had told you about it.
We watched the first episode.
Did we?
Does it start with a dude in a tomb with guns
Oh yeah.
getting carried? Yeah, we watched that on your laptop.
What a wild time.
Yeah. I remember it was 2 gun sounding ones or something like that, and I was like, it was Vandred, and then Jake described it, and I was like, that was definitely
Yeah, I
not.
was like, well,
There is
I don't even
no
know what
way.
it's like that.
Neither did I. I'm sure I've heard the name Vandred before. I don't know what I thought it was. I thought it had something to do with vampires, maybe, and guns. Maybe a dark dystopian place, but not that. Kind of progressive for its time, kind of in a way.
I mean, it was something. No, I'm just kidding.
Did y'all ever watch Murder Princess?
No, what's that?
That was another bad anime I watched. It's about a princess who murders.
I never would have guessed.
Same with like Dead Man Wonderland. That was another shit show.
Shut the fuck up. Dead Man Wonderland was
All right,
great.
so so I watched this movie called The Conspiracy, which is a found footage horror movie about conspiracies.
Ooh.
And it dropped in, I guess, like 2013. And it's about 2 dudes who are filming a documentary on this conspiracy theorist, and then he just disappears. Like at the start of the movie, like about 10 minutes in. Like he's going on about all this bullshit about Bush doing 9/11 and the US instigating wars for financial gain and all this other shit, which I don't know, doesn't sound like too much of a conspiracy, but whatever. And then he just fucking yoink, goes away, disappears. And then they're like, well, shit, what do we do about the documentary? And then one of the guys goes into his apartment and then starts taking all of his like papers that he's collected and newspaper clippings and then starts putting them together himself. And then he starts getting into the conspiracy theory shit himself. And then it's basically turns into a movie about how this shit has started ruining his life and the life of his other friend who's filming a documentary with. Because that's the way they continue the documentary, is they just start investigating this conspiracy shit themselves and things start getting out of hand. And like I guess this was like on a disturbing horror movie iceberg, and that's why my girlfriend wanted to watch it. But like, I don't fucking get it. Like, I don't think this movie makes any sense in a modern context.
How so?
Like, the dude is like, did you know the government is watching your every move, bro? They're fucking tracking you on the internet, bro. I swear, I'm not crazy. I'm not nuts. They're fucking tapping into your phones, bro. They're reading your emails, bro. They're checking your internet browser history. And like...
So you just mean it aged well?
Aged like shit, dude.
What do you mean like shit?
Like,
he was right.
Like in 2013, I'm like, well, no, that's my problem. Is like in 2013, like the movie frames it in such a way where it's like, oh man, this guy's going nuts, bro. He's just in too deep. And then now I'm just looking at it and I'm just like, yeah, what about it? Like, yeah, the NSA is listening to your every fucking thought. What about it? Like this dude, I don't know, man. Maybe our culture is fucking broken. Maybe like I'm broken because I'm just like,
Jake, I want you to look up the people that made that movie, and I'll bet you they're fucking dead right now. I bet you they committed suicide in a locked room. Or
one of the dudes was in an Handmaid's Tale. It's a fake found footage movie, Robert.
Yeah, I know.
It's not real.
But like people made it.
Whatever, dude. Like as I said, maybe I'm just broken and don't get it. Because I'm just like, yeah, obviously the NSA is listening to you. No shit. This is not a revelation. This is not a fucking secret you needed to find. Everybody knows now.
Yeah, now.
Thanks to Edward Snowden.
10 years
I
ago,
guess.
though.
I'm just like, yeah, Bush probably did 9/11. Whatever. Who cares?
Is that something you stand by?
NSA for
you want to just put that out there, Jake?
Hey, CIA, NSA, if you're listening to this,
JK.
He's my favorite president. I don't know, man. Like, they're like going on about a bunch of shit about the consolidation of power and how there's a bunch of fucking dudes who are basically the Illuminati trying to consolidate the power into one unified government. And I'm looking at that and I'm like, yeah, okay, Yeah, the UN is a thing. NATO is a thing. Like, as I said, I don't get this movie because it doesn't make any sense to me in a modern context. Maybe I'm just, like, too young to know what it was like for the government to just not spy on me and know everything. Y'all have opinions on this shit? Stephanie, do you think Bush did 9/11?
I feel like I'll head it back to our captain.
Do I think Bush did 9/11?
Yeah, sure.
Not my words. No.
I mean, I thought 9/11 happened in 2001, in 2011, the last time we were playing D&D. So that's how fucked up I was about it.
Okay, well, like, this movie does go places, and the horror of it is good.
How does it get to horror is my question.
Well, like, at some point, because the dude they were filming is, like, hella paranoid. And he's like, I'm being tailed. That guy, I see him every day. He's watching me. That fucking guy right there is a goddamn tail. And they're like, yeah, okay, whatever, man. And then at some point in the movie, they start realizing they're being tailed by the same guy. Or one of the guys thinks he's being tailed by the same guy. The other friend in the documentary is pretty skeptical about all this shit.
Maybe he's in on it too.
And then they trace everything down to like a secret society, which I'm not going to look up. I'm good.
What do you mean? This is
because it's probably real, and I don't feel like any of them on the list.
Footage film, Jake.
Okay,
Do
whatever.
your due diligence. Well, okay, what are they called?
Oh fuck, dude, I don't remember.
He's like, I don't know. Apparently, they would go to this secret island. I think it was like something that rhymed with Frankenstein.
Oh my word!
Where the fuck? What was it called? I legitimately don't remember. That's how little of a fuck I gave about this movie. But basically, they find a secret society, and there's like a puppet company that is like hosting the secret society. And okay, it's called the Taurus Club. There we go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so the whole point is like these are the guys that are pulling all the strings. These are the guys that got us into World War I, World War II, Vietnam. They probably did 9/11.
I thought Bush did 9/11 is what you were thinking.
Yeah, shit, whatever. He's probably part of the Taurus Club. And they eventually figure out a way to get an invite into the club. And that's kind of where this movie starts popping off. They buy these tie clips that have like secret cameras in them. And then they go do this weird like initiation ritual. And like the rest of the like documentary crew is like, fuck this. Y'all are crazy. And the one friend who's skeptical is like, yeah, this is fucking stupid. We should not be doing this. And the other guy's just all about it for some reason. I'm just like, this, like, I don't know, man. As I said, this information is not worth putting your life at risk for because, like, it's a no shit, but I guess they didn't know at the time, but, like, everybody did know at the time, whatever. Like, they have to put on a black suit and tie, and then they have to put on black sweatpants and a black hoodie, and then they fucking have to lay in a ditch for, like, hours, and then a black truck pulls up with body bags in the back and then parks right next to the ditch, and then they just sprint to the truck and then fucking zip themselves in the body bags.
How did they know to do this?
It was part of the invite details that they managed to dig up.
You know what I would love?
What?
I would love if like this movie just disappeared off the face of the earth right now. Like just you couldn't look it up, you couldn't find it, and not like because it's real or anything. Just like if it just disappeared and you just have this memory of watching this movie, and you're like, I swear I watched this, bro.
Like Half-Life 1 on PlayStation.
Yeah,
2?
exactly.
Yeah. No, as I said, like, it is good horror. Like, it is good paranoia. It's just, like, the pointlessness of what you're going through just takes me out of the movie a little bit. Because, like, the climax is legitimately really good and really terrifying. Like, once they get to the Taurus Club, it's fucked. But, like, them putting themselves and their families at risk for, like, well-known information we have in the modern day, I guess, just makes the stakes of this movie seem way dumber.
Hey, Jake, did you know that when did this movie come out?
2013.
2013. You think people went to jail for a really long time in 2013 for having weed on them?
Yeah, probably.
Do you think that would happen in a modern time?
Yes.
No.
It depends on the state.
Weed's legal. Yeah, but you're not like that.
It's not federally legal. If you're not in a state that's legalized it, goodbye.
Yes, but I mean, like, not as bad as you would have 10 years ago.
I suppose. As I said, I am just too cynical to see how this would have been spooky at the time. I think in like 2010, I was just like, My government's probably reading my Xbox Live messages.
I just wouldn't care because I don't really have anything to hide.
The government probably saved your MySpace pages, guys. Sorry to say it.
Damn.
Yeah, now you're worried. Yeah, but that was the conspiracy. It was okay out of 10.
You know, you didn't sell me on it. I don't think I'm gonna be watching this.
As it, like the climax of the movie, as I said, is real good. It's just like, one, I don't want to spoil it. Two, you kind of see where this movie's going a mile away. Three, as I said, it's almost like they died for fucking nothing.
So they die.
Well, no. What I meant is like they don't. I'm not going to tell you if they die or they don't die, but what I'm saying is like they're putting their lives at risk for fucking nothing.
Gotcha. Not the best movie.
And it was on a disturbing movie Iceberg, so I guess if you're a fucking schizo paranoid, yeah, I guess if you're a fucking paranoid about the government coming to tell you that Bush didn't do 9/11, then maybe you'll think it's spooky. But what else you got? Did you guys watch any other movies, or are we moving on?
So we watched these two movies. You might have heard of them. They are To Me, The One Who Loved You, and To Every You I Have Loved Before. These are,
I have not heard of these movies.
you probably have, you just don't know the name. These are these two anime movies that came out simultaneously, and they are part of this new thing that's coming in, you know, the whole multiverse. That shit's hot right now. And so it's two movies, and depending on which one you watch first, you will get a different experience. And I think the gist of it was supposed to be that whichever one you watch first is going to be the one you were going to prefer. I disagree with that, and I am so appreciative of Stephanie for leading me in the right direction. So I'll let her talk about her experience first, and then I'll talk about my experience because we did have two different experiences.
Tell me about your experience, Stephanie.
Yeah, so I had watched it To Ever You I Loved Before, and then I had watched To Me, The One Who Loved You. And I guess, by the way, these movies had came out on Crunchyroll, I think April 20th. So
hot off the press.
yeah, I was like, just in case you don't know, now you know. But
Yeah, I legit didn't know.
so I guess with the way that I watched it when the main character is older. And basically you get to see his life for this time point. And so it's a little confusing, but basically it's like going through different points of time. So he'll be younger and then he'll be like older a little bit. And then it stops at a point to where he's like, I think 7 or 8. And then it progresses from there on. So then you see what his life is like. And then all of a sudden you're like back to the beginning again. And it was an interesting time. So again, these are going to be like romance animes in a sense, but I don't like the way that I watched it because the ship that I really liked, I guess it just gets broken down to a point where I'm like, I don't know how to feel about this. So that was my experience with it. I do not like the main character. He's not my favorite. But I do like one of the girls.
So this movie's like, is it just about the same dude at different points in his life? Is it like I guess it is a romance, but is there a narrative through line to the romance, or do the different time periods exist just to like add context to his character?
So here's a weird thing about this movie. It also goes through like what they call a time shift. And so again, right, I think Robert had kind of talked about it with like parallel universes and what those could look like. And so time is important, but also it's a little more complicated than that.
This shit sounds pretty high concept, bro. You're kind of making me think that Bush did do 9/11.
Not my words. No. But Robert, also kind of tell me about your experience since you watched it the opposite way.
Like, I legit still don't understand what the fuck this movie's about.
Okay.
Same.
Okay.
So the one thing that I will say is I don't think the guy's the main character. Well, that's my opinion. I that's how I choose to see it. And he is a protagonist, so I watched To Me, The One Who Loved You, and then I watched To Every You I Have Loved Before. And that's only because Stephanie was like, I think you should watch it that way. I think you'll enjoy it more. You'll just be frustrated if you watch it the way I watched it. And I 100% agree. And I think to a degree, the people that made this agree. Because To Me, The One Who Loved You has an after credits scene that directly ties into To Every You I Have Loved Before, which doesn't have an after credits scene. It just ends. and black screen credits rolling up. And I think that's the best way to watch it.
So what you're saying is these movies have an order, but it keeps trying to trick you into not thinking they have an order?
The only benefit I can think of watching To Every You I Have Loved Before first is you will have a lot of questions without answers at the beginning. And so it might be cool to be like, oh, so that's what happened, or certain things will click. Whereas if you watch To Me, the One Who Loved You first, you will have context for the questions that To Every You I Have Loved Before brings out initially. And I don't think that it's worth.
Should this have just been like a short anime or something? Because as I said, I'm still confused as to what the fuck this movie's about.
Well, I'm going to get there. I'm just saying, like, this is one of those scenarios where I'm like, I get it. You're trying something new. You're trying something different. I don't think the execution wasn't worth trying this new thing. You guys had a really good story you wanted to tell. Y'all should have just told it. Y'all should have released one movie and then released the other movie, or said, this is episode 1, this is episode 2, and given everyone that really good experience. But I mean, good concept or whatever. So, Jake, this movie is about the concept of parallel universes. The guy's dad works at I think they call it a imaginary science, right?
It's just like Spider-Man.
I mean,
Yes, but also
it's a place that is studying parallel universes, how to access them, and what is going on. So it's not like a Doctor Strange thing or even Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it's only some people that are aware of this. Like at the very beginning, when they're kids, yeah. But this movie quickly, or both these movies quickly go into, this is just common knowledge that there is alternate universes and people are aware of this, and they even like wear these watches that tell you how many universes part you are, because it plays with the concept that every time you lose something and then it appears where you didn't think it was, you're constantly moving from one universe to another if they're really close. Like if the differences aren't too big, that's just a normal thing that happens. Whereas this protagonist, the dude, he has the ability to move further than your average person. And certain people around the world do. They have the ability to move further, which is something that's explored more in the second one, or the one I recommend second, To Every You I Have Loved Before. But it's just a love story set in a universe that has alternate universes, and people are aware of alternate universes.
Okay, so is it literally just a high concept romance story like Your Name or some shit?
In terms of complexity, I guess it's a little more complex than Your Name,
Your Name's kind of complicated.
but I feel like it's not confusing. Like, were you confused, Stephanie?
in like certain parts, yeah. But then also too, I didn't like watch it from the beginning, you know what I'm talking about? So
Yeah, yeah, I gotcha.
so with Your Name, again, there is that concept of time and like going back in time and stuff like that. With this, it really is like parallel worlds and then like swapping with your parallel worlds. So it's like weird. And then I guess there is an essence of time travel in like messing with timelines in parallel worlds.
My favorite concept.
No, but it's actually done really well. And the reason I say is to watch it in that order, To Me, the One Who Loved You, and then To Every You I Have Loved Before, is because I finished To Me, the One Who Loved You, and I was fucking pissed. I was like, this is how this shit fucking ends. And just the way that plays out, I was just very, very irritated, very frustrated with like the actions people took. And so I was like, damn. And then To Every You I Have Loved Before, it just gave me like the satisfaction I wanted. It was like, yes, this is what I wanted to happen. Whereas I think if you watch that one first, you're going to be like, oh man, this is great. This is dope. And then you're going to go to Me, the One Who Loved You, and you're going to be like irritated and frustrated even more because you have the context of the second one. And you're just like, wow.
So what you're saying is one of these gives you narrative blue balls and one of these routes does not.
If you want to phrase it that way, yes. But it's really good. I cried. I was crying at the end of, like, it did that thing where like I was like, nah, I'm not gonna cry, and then someone would say something and tears would be streaming down me, and I'm like, no, hold it. Then they'd say something else, and I was just like bawling, and I'd be like, all right, well, at least, and someone would say something else, and I was just like, god damn it. Like it was good that way. Like I said, I'm so grateful, Stephanie, because I would have been I would have been saying like you liked it, right?
Yes, I would say that I liked it. And also too, like technically you can watch these movies by themselves. Like you don't have to watch the second one technically. You'll get like a bigger picture, but like they can be standalone movies too.
I would be very. I mean, you can, I guess. I would be very upset if I just watched the first. To me, the one who loved you, and that was it.
Oh, still no fucking idea what these movies are about, but they seem controversial, so yeah, put it on the Jake list.
Well. I just don't want to spoil. No, because I think you should watch these. I think everyone should watch these,
Like I'll have an opinion.
and I just don't want to spoil anything. But it is a romance though, so that's
Time travel romance. Okay.
if you're not into those, then
Romance and slice of life are my least favorite genres.
well,
That was sarcasm.
yeah, I know, I'm aware.
Yeah, but I just realized that like that probably doesn't come across on Mike.
But based on your previous statements of K-On! And
Kaon's not a romance. Kaon's just about a kid with autism doing her best.
Oh my word.
What? Yui is autistic. There's no way she's not. She learns guitar in a week. Like, she's a savant about some things, but also she has trouble tying her shoes. Like, I don't know how else to describe her.
I mean, you're right.
but that's those movies.
I said I'm interested. I just legit have no fucking idea.
Well, I mean, that's the way to watch them, to be honest.
Okay.
That's it for my movies. So, y'all have any other movies?
No, I watched the conspiracy movie and I watched the D&D movie. Recommend the D&D movie. Your parents will like it. Your kids will like it. I guess if you like D&D, you might not like it, but I liked it because I'm a shill and a corporate slave. Robert, you would probably like conspiracy. As said, I just think it's fine.
Probably not going to watch Conspiracy, to be honest with you.
Mike, there's probably enough other good horror movies you haven't seen that should be higher on the list.
Yeah.
I said, I don't think you would dislike it. It's just we've had movies like this done better.
Okay. Stephanie, have you watched any other movies that you want to talk about?
No, I'm good.
Okay, let's move on to TV shows then.
What I got, boys? Who's up?
I mean, I just talked about those movies, so did Stephanie, so I think it's you, Jake.
Oh, is it my turn?
I don't like that tone of voice.
Well, boys, 20 years in the making. I have finally gotten around to a show that has existed since my childhood that I bounced right the fuck off of because I was too young to understand. I have finally got around to watching and finishing Moral Oral.
Oh boy.
For the uninformed, Moral Oral is an Adult Swim show that dropped in like 2003-ish, created by Dino Stamatopoulos, otherwise known as Starburns from Community. And this show is claymation show / stop motion animation. And it is a show about Moralton, which is a super conservative religious town in a fake state in the United States. And we follow our character, Moral, as he goes through his daily life in this hyper-religious conservative community. And the show starts off very formulaic. Usually, Oral learns something in church. He either misinterprets it or takes it too literally. He causes the town a bunch of problems, and the show always ends with him getting his ass beat in his dad's study by the bell. And as a kid, I didn't get this show. I, in fact, thought it was kind of spooky because I was like, I think this show's making fun of God. And if my parents catch me watching this shit, I'm going to get my ass beat. Because like this show is a scathing criticism of like religion, or at least hyper conservative Christians. And like it makes me remember a lot of shit that I like didn't occur to me as a kid. But like, I don't know about y'all, but like I didn't grow up hyper religious, but there's enough shit I grew up with in religion that makes me go, oh yeah, that was a thing. Like I remember my sister and I getting in big fucking trouble for like pretending we were Harry Potter and then running around pretending to cast spells and then getting chewed the fuck out by our dad because that was against Christianity or something. Like, what are your guys' relationships to religion? Well, don't be shy now.
Usually if I'm silent, it's because I'm trying to get you to talk, Stephanie.
Oh, down. I'll let you take this one.
He wants to talk.
Nothing like that. Nothing that serious. We went to church on Sundays. I went to Sunday school. I didn't finish it all the way through, but I did most of it.
You can finish Sunday school.
Well, yeah, you eventually become I just got up to the point where I was officially able to go, and like when everyone does, you confess your sins and then you go and you eat the thing and drink the drink.
You Catholics.
Yeah, but I didn't go any further than that, so I didn't end up having to. I'm sure I'm fucking up all these words, like because I don't know any of the titles for this. I know in Spanish, but
Not like I was particularly respectful of my religion either.
the when you're a boy, you get to go up there and you hold the things and you walk with the father. Like that would have been the next step, and that would have been what I did the next year. But I just never I did that much, and then I was like, all right, I'm done. Mowdy.
Altar boys.
See, is it altar boys?
I think that is the English word for it.
Okay, well, never made it that far. Made it to just before then.
Stephanie, did you have any kind of relationship with religion growing up?
Yeah, I would say it's like pretty similar to Robert. The only, I guess, like difference is that I did go to a Catholic institution for
You.
yeah, for grad school. It wasn't as bad, and I actually really like, I guess, that sect of Catholicism, and so it follows like basically their names are Jesuits, and it honestly a lot of things branch off of Christianity and Catholicism. So it's kind of literally the same thing. The only difference is that real emphasis on the whole person. And so again, it's not just like, oh, like taking care of yourself spiritually, but kind of all of the different avenues of who you are. And also too, I guess it's just more accepting of many identities. And so that's what I really love about it.
Okay, so I guess I grew up Baptist, and as I said, I never considered myself that religious of a person or like having a religious upbringing until I'm watching this show. And I was like, oh yeah, I went to church every Sunday. Oh yeah, I went to youth group every day. Oh yeah, I had the fear of God fucking beat into me. Like,
God is definitely something to fear.
Robert knows fucking the reason why I got into Yu-Gi-Oh in high school was because my mom bought me a pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards when I was a kid, thinking they were like just like Pokemon cards. And I opened them in the car and I was like, wow, look, this is neat. And then I showed her a Yu-Gi-Oh card and then she basically stomped on the brakes and she's like, yo, that's satanic. And then she fucking U-turned and then took me back to Walmart and made me take back an open pack of Yu-Gi-Oh cards to fucking Walmart.
Walmart's probably like, we can't take this, so just keep them, kid.
The dude was just like, what the fuck do you want? And she's like, you say you take anything back. And then he's just like, like, this fucking poor teenager. But yeah, that was my upbringing. And this show is not kind to religion at all. Like the season 1, there's 3 seasons. And early on, it's a lot of like shock humor and like, I don't know, juvenile humor. Like it's very early Adult Swim shock and gross out humor. Like the first episode, Oral goes to a service on Sunday where the whole point of the service was that life is precious and God gave you life and living is special and you shouldn't fucking take it for granted and a bunch of shit. So Oral gets it in his head that anybody who died is actively sinning because they're spitting in God's face for rejecting the gift of life. So he goes to the banned book section of his local library and grabs a copy of the Necronomicon and starts raising the dead, which causes a zombie apocalypse in Moralton.
That's
No, this show's fucking wild, bro. And what the adults are upset about isn't the zombie apocalypse Oral just started, but Oral says cleanliness is close to godliness because that's what his mom says. And all of the dead people's clothes are dirty and gross and they smell. So Oral has been removing all of the dead people's clothes so that they can get a chance to get new ones. And that's what the adults are upset about. They are more upset about a bunch of naked people running around more than they are people being eaten by zombies. And the episode ends with Oral and his mom knitting a bunch of clothes for the undead. And then everything's just peachy keen.
Are the undead part of the rest of the season?
They're mentioned multiple times.
Like they're just still around?
Like the show does the good cartoon thing that shows do, where it starts off being episodic and then gradually they introduce more continuity until the final season is just back to back to back to back to back continuity.
Gotcha.
And the zombie apocalypse is mentioned multiple times. Like the show's fucking nuts and it is really fucking funny. Like, I did enjoy the formulaic episodes, but like the continuity episodes just are. The show goes from like really fucking funny to absolutely goddamn soul crushing, and I'm glad it's like sprinkled in there in the second season and the first season. Because like I don't know, it gives you a nice break until the third season happens, and then it just doesn't. Like, I heard that they knew the show was getting canned, so that they knew that the third season was going to be the last one. So it feels like they just took all the sprinkling that they would have done, and they're just like, nope, we're fitting it all in one season, baby. Hope you're in the mood to hurt. It's really well done too. Like, I like the stop motion a lot. Like, even at the end of every episode, Oral makes a little stop motion movie with his like Bible figurines, and it's probably my favorite piece of adult Western animation I have ever seen. Like, I don't think there's been another show that I've watched aimed at adults that like is this simultaneously funny, but also this like hard hitting in its themes of what it's like growing up in an ultra conservative religious community.
I feel like that second one is a little niche.
I mean, I guess, but like the show goes hard. Like, this over the course of the 3 seasons, you learn that Morrilton is a town of broken people. And characters that were bits get entire episodes to themselves. And then you learn exactly why they are the way they are. And then what was once a funny bit is now just sad. Like, his dad and his mom are in a loveless, hateful fucking marriage, and they can't stand each other. And it starts off pretty funny until it stops being funny and is just sad.
Sounds like a great time.
I don't know, man. Like, this show hurts, but it manages to like give you a sense of optimism after finishing it. And I was like, damn, finally, one of these that's like not just sad for the sake of sad. And I love the show. This is probably my favorite piece of media I've consumed this year. Robert, what you got?
I'm gonna start with, did have a little contest the last episode, and you were to choose one of my things that I was gonna do, and you chose Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon's a little anime that I like.
What year did it come out? Was it 2006?
It's old. It's pretty fucking old.
I think I had like started the first episode before. This has been something you've been wanting me to watch forever, and I haven't, as I usually do. So I'd watched the first episode a couple of times, I think, and I did. I started it again, first episode, and I'm watching it. Intro, pretty edgy, you know. You got
You're goddamn right, it is.
like it's edgy in like that way that you're used to things being edgy in 2006. And I'm like, okay, music on point. Literally, the first shot you see is of this chick's ass just in the thing, and I'm like, okay, this is a time and a place. And it's such a time and a place, by the way, that like this shit did not age appropriately.
Oh, well,
They say
a lot of racist shit.
the F word, the R word, like so often.
I'm sorry, is this the Boondocks? Like, what?
Like, I was watching it and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, there is certain characters with accents that definitely are of that time and era. But that being
As I said, I watched this show in Japanese, and it's equally as racist.
Jesus.
They go out of their way to make sure you know this character is being racist.
Okay.
Like, it's not just like a damn, the dubbing team fucked up. It's like, no, these characters are racist, and the show wants you to know it.
And so I watched the first episode and I'm like, I know what I'm in for. It's going to be a show I've seen a million times. It's going to be edgy. It's going to be a lot of guns and action and violence. And it's going to be a lot of tits and ass. Like, that's what that time had. All right, let's go. And I also was wondering, I was like, is this going to stand up now? Like, so many other shows have done it better, like, or could have had the opportunity to do it better. How is this going to stand out so many years later? And then it did something that I didn't expect. I'm watching, because the first episode's pretty formulaic. It's like, okay, it is what it is. And then the second episode happens, and you got like they're backed up against the corner, and like, what's going to happen? And I'm waiting for it to end on a like JoJo style, what's going to happen next? Gotcha cliffhanger moment. And it doesn't. It ends with the main character, Rock. I guess I should have said who the characters are. Black Lagoon is an anime about the shipping company, or I guess a delivery company, whatever you want to call it. Pirates, yeah, but they call themselves a shipping company or a delivery company. And they're like, that's our job. We take one thing and we deliver it wherever we need to take it. No questions asked. That's what we do. We're not bad guys. We're not good guys.
They traffic contraband.
We just take one thing from one place to another. Like they specifically phrase it that way so that it's like we're not on anyone's side. We are just doing a job. And this guy Rock is just a Japanese businessman, and he gets caught up in one of their deliveries. That's what happens in the first episode. Well, it's kind of a little tiny arc because I think it's the first 3 episodes. The point is, when you get to the point where typically an anime ends on like an action cliffhanger, instead it's Rock like just sort of kind of freaking out and wondering what's going to happen. And it's just him talking and wondering, how did I get into this situation? And then the ending theme, oh my god, I love it. It just puts you into such an existential place. And that's what I think the core of this anime is it's an existential nightmare.
Yeah, see, that's why I love the outro and the intro, is because, like, they're both about Revi, who's the main character on the cover, who's the cool girl, who's sociopathic with 2 M9s, and is the cool action lady. And the intro and the outro are, like, both just, like, about her. Like, the intro is about the front. She puts up the sexy femme fatale who doesn't take anybody's shit and will gun anybody down and is a huge badass. And then the ending is just the existential nightmare of what it is to be her, a genuine sociopathic murderer, having a hard time having empathy for anybody or anything due to past trauma.
But then as soon as you get too close to seeing that side of her, it ramps up, the drums kick in, and she just turns with a shotgun in her mouth ready to murder again. Because she can't let anyone get that close. And the whole show does this, like every single episode. Every time it ended in a way that, like, because you could have done this show and you could have not even changed any scenes. You could have just played it a little further, or ended the episode a little earlier, and it would have ended an actiony, like, oh no, what's going to happen next moment. But it always does it. It almost feels like they cut it in the middle of where 2 normal episodes would cut it. Like in the middle of an episode, they just cut it in the middle, and that's where it just ends. And it plays this existential music, and it just makes you feel like, what are we doing here? Why are we here? And the main character asks these questions throughout the whole anime. Rock, Revi and him are both main characters, but
yeah, basically
he's always asking, like, what am I doing here? Because throughout the whole anime, he's kind of like in the middle. He's got one foot in the, I'm not violent, I'm not doing this. But also he's still there and he's still helping them accomplish those things. And so he's like, where do I fit in? And that's the question the show kind of is going to answer. And so this isn't over, right, Jake? Like, because I watched the whole thing.
You probably did not watch, I think it's called The Ballad of Roberta.
I did. I finished it.
That's it.
No. I'm not saying that, like, the anime is not over. I'm saying the story's not over.
What do you mean?
The manga's ongoing, dog.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't know that shit. I just watched the show.
And I thought so because I was like, this didn't end.
I mean, I understood the arc at the end of it. The Ballad of Roberta, if you just take it at face value, as I did, without actually knowing there's more to it, I was like, okay, Rock's arc is done.
It's not, though. That I feel like that is as dark as he was willing to go. This probably makes no sense, Stephanie, just like listening to this on the outside.
I said, I didn't know there was more. If there's, like, I'm fine with it being where it's at.
So throughout the story, there's a bunch of different arcs. And I'll say this, I think that this probably was supposed to hit more. The arc with the twins.
I didn't give a fuck about them.
No, neither did I. Neither did I. Like I, and maybe it's me because I've seen too much of this shit. That shit's normal in like a thing like Hellsing. I get it. It's terrible, but I didn't care. What I cared about was like in that moment when that arc ends and Rock is just kind of like, he's not indifferent about it, but he's a lot less upset about it than he probably would have been at the very beginning. And I was waiting for it. I was like, oh my God, that end theme is gonna hit right now. And then they changed it to some like hopeful bullshit to end their little arc. And for the people that felt like upset about the twins, they probably were like, oh man. And back in 2006, maybe I would have been the same way. But I hated that they switched it out right there. I was like, the original ending theme would have hit so hard right there. But they changed it. So for most of the anime, Rock is trying to help people. And every time he tries to help people, it just doesn't work out. And so at the end of it, for the Ballad of Roberta, he's still trying to help, but I feel like the point of that arc is that he doesn't care anymore. It's been about helping people up until that point, that arc. At that point, it's about
No,
him
it's about
wanting
his,
to
like,
win. He wants to
his
win, and he
satisfaction in it
doesn't
rather than
care that people's lives are at stake or what he could potentially lose by the choices he makes. And I was like, damn, okay. And that's why at the end,
because
and that's why I don't think it ends at the very end. He like you see Revy, she points the gun at the city, and she's like, "Bang!" And then he does the finger guns too, and he points, but he doesn't shoot. He puts his fingers down again because I think that's the darkest he will get, and I think this is just a guess. I think in the manga he's going to keep trying to. He's going to get better. He's going to realize what he had become there, and he's going to shift back. At least is my guess.
as I said, with my impression of it is that he just went back because, like I said, with the context of this show is just like he's like, "Okay, don't belong here. All right, fine. I got my one. I'm out." But I said, if there's more to the manga, then clearly that's not what happened. But I know I like the show a lot.
It's really good.
It is a character-driven show, and those are my favorite kinds.
It didn't age well in a lot of ways.
I know what you're talking about. I think it aged fine. Like, if you're sensitive, don't watch this show. But it's just like, yeah, this character doesn't give a shit about being politically correct. She kills people on a daily basis. Why would she care about not hurting this character's feelings?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, if you were to put this on TV today,
Ooh, I don't know, bro. I don't think Adult Swim. Adult Swim aired this shit back when it was on, but I don't think they would do it anymore.
They can't. They would have to bleep out so many words. They use a lot of language that we do not use anymore. That'll get you canceled.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
And you're right, it does fit the characters. But like, let's say they brought that shit back for season 3.
I can't.
I don't think
You can't. I don't think you can do like.
You'd be like,
you told me the manga continued when that shit wrapped up, and I watched it like 10 years ago. I was like, oh, there's no way they can keep this going.
Yeah, no. Like if they actually did it, it'd be like, oh,
it would be a problem. Like they would either have to water down the show, or the shit would get canceled in like 3 episodes.
Yeah, I do like that. One of the things I do like is Revy and Rock's relationship because there is a lot of situations where she is any other anime, they would have like the guy be a perv or like even mention or say something because she is in some suggestive poses or just like she's already in like short shorts and has like a tiny top, but like there's even a scene where he's like talking to her and she's just half naked on her bed and they're just talking like normal and she like gets up and goes to shower and he's still just talking to her. And at no point does he like make a move or even make a reference to that fact. And she doesn't like try and tease him or anything. It's just, they are just two people who are like, it doesn't use fan service that way.
Yeah, it doesn't use like the whole point is like, yeah, there's a lot of tits and ass in this anime, but the point is it doesn't matter.
It gave me very much a cyberpunk feel.
Nobody cares, and the people that do care usually get shot because they're not minding their own fucking business.
Yeah.
Like everybody's an adult-ass adult, and that's what I appreciate about this show. After watching so many fucking TV shows or animes about high schoolers not being able to keep track of their own fucking libido.
So I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad you recognized that I would appreciate it. I don't think I'd recommend this to anyone. Or I don't know. Or I don't.
I could recommend it to you. I don't think there's anybody else on my list.
I don't know who else I would recommend this to. Yeah, like I don't know anyone that I would be like, oh yeah, you'll get something out of this. It's Black Lagoon, baby.
Black Lagoon, baby. It's just a cute. It's basically just One Piece.
Shut the fuck up. Don't.
It's just about a little pirate crew doing cute pirate things together.
Don't you dare, Stephanie. You watched some shows this month.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would you like to
feel free to elaborate?
Yeah, would you like to talk about them?
I was about to say, are we going to talk about beef or are we not going to talk about beef?
Do we want to go into beef right now?
I think so.
Let's go into beef. Give us the overview.
All right. So beef is, I'm pretty sure it's a Netflix original. I think, maybe.
I believe so.
Netflix original, produced by 24.
And basically, it is exactly what the title is. two people that have beef, and also too, it's so much more at the same time. And yeah.
See, considering this is from A24, I was thinking of this in a literal context rather than the like metaphorical context. I just kind of assumed this movie was about cannibals or some shit.
Oh, well, there is some metaphors in there for a lot of different things. But yeah, I really liked it. There was a lot to get out of the show. It was really good, honestly. And I guess there are points where it's really funny. And I feel like the more that you watch it, it's still funny. And then it just gets really dark. And then it's very dark. And then it's almost too dark. And then it comes back at the end, at least with the ending that I believe. I think it is a happy ending. So yeah, I think it's good stuff. I don't know, Robert. What was your whole kind of thing about it?
So Beef is a story about two people, a man and a woman, who are at their wits' end. And while they are about to lose it, they happen to get into a little bit of road rage. And because of where they're at in life, they both decide to not let it go. And you get a little road rage incident that would be on Reddit or a YouTube clip nowadays. And that's exactly what happens. Someone records them, but no one finds out who they are. And these two people are so upset with their own lives that they decide to focus on this road rage incident, and they try and get back at each other in escalating fashion. And boy, does it escalate. And that's the gist of it. Like Stephanie said, there is so much more though. There is a bunch of different things going on with their own lives that made them get to that point. And the show does a really good job of making every character just feel alive and like have their motivations and a believable character. It's a wild ride. And yeah, it just keeps like it's hilarious at first. Because at first, like I forgot that it was an A24 production and I was watching it and I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a comedy. This is gonna be like, Seth Rogen's Neighbors, where it's just pranks on each other. And then it becomes not Seth Rogen's Neighbors and it becomes Beef, which is just a really dark time. And
I'm expecting some rapid escalation of events here.
it just happens. Like you'll be watching it and you'll be like, oh, this is cool. And then all of a sudden you'll be like, oh. But like we won't get into too much spoilers. That's really all you got to know. It's about that escalation. And it explores a lot of different situations that people are in. Like I said, the characters are all great. The music is phenomenal. It has a lot of songs you'd consider Zilla music, Jake.
Can't wait. I mean, to be fair, so is Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
To be honest,
I think a lot of the problems people have in Beef, I think it does a really good job portraying how people psychologically react to things or even just certain psychological things that you have with you. I don't know. The doctor wants to chime in on that.
Yeah, I was about to say it really goes into like people's psyches, which is really interesting. And I guess that everybody really is going through something, and it doesn't matter who they are to you. Like even if it's like your worst enemy, they're still going through things too. Also, too, fuck George.
I mean, he's probably the character I like the least in that show.
I mean, I can't wait to watch this show and just like have it fly over my head due to a lack of empathy.
See, the thing is, it doesn't ask you for empathy.
Yeah.
Like that's not the kind of show this is, Jake, which is why I think it's so effective. Like right off the bat, it's like, yo, these people aren't likable characters. They're not built to be like, oh man, I'm on this guy's side or oh, I'm on her side. They are two people that are damaged. Everyone on the show is damaged in some way or form, and it affects every decision that they make. So you're not really rooting for one or the other. You're just watching this. And then at the end of it, it's like, hey man, the show has a message. And you thought that it might not have, but it does. And it's really good. It's kind of amazing. And like I said, I can't get over the like Steven Yeun, like, Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Yep.
He's in this. God damn, like that guy knows how to show pain on his face so well. Like what a phenomenal actor. The same goes for like everyone else on the show. It's just specifically that caught my attention a lot. I was like, damn.
I mean, I fuck with it. A24, so that's on the list.
Is there anything else you want to say about it, Stephanie, before we get to the elephant in the room?
No, I'm okay.
Okay, I forgot his name. So after we watched this and like we sang its praises and we're like, damn, this is great. You got that Hollywood thing where you find out that certain people aren't the greatest people, and I don't know how that made me feel because I don't want to support what that person stands for, but the show is really good.
I mean, I just talked about how I'm a corporate shill and I spent $30+ seeing a movie twice for a company that's willing to threaten people over pieces of cardboard.
David Cho
So,
is his name. You know who David Cho is, Jake?
familiar name.
He's in some other stuff.
I had no fucking idea who this is.
Okay. Well, he has a podcast, and among one of the things that happened is he's talking to Steven Yen at one point on the podcast, and he asks him about this scene. He's like, "Hey, man." He's like, "So you just filmed the scene for Walking Dead? Spoilers for Walking Dead, by the way. If anyone cares."
Wow, bro, it's still on my backlog, bud.
And he goes like, "You just filmed a scene in The Walking Dead where you got caught or something, and they separated you and your girlfriend, and you're like in a cell, and you can hear your girlfriend on the other side, and she's getting raped, and you get to hear it." He's like, "How is that, man? That's kind of my kink. That's fucking hot, bro." And they're like, someone else on the podcast is like that happening to your girlfriend, and he's like, "Yeah, bro." And that's kind of problematic, I would say.
I mean, my hope would be that like podcasters say stupid shit for the sake of edgy, ear-catching content.
Mm.
There was that one, and then I forgot what the other thing was, but he did something else. Do you remember what it was?
Wait, okay, hold on. I thought there was something else.
There was something else, but I forgot what it was. That was just the one I remembered, but there was something else that happened, and people were like, "Whoa, do we not remember what it was?"
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm like trying to like go through, and I was like, maybe I have it, but no, don't remember what it was.
Must have been that controversial, huh?
No, because it was like a whole thing. It was like
It was actually pretty bad. Like,
I remember it
I
was
can't find anything on this fucking guy.
like no, literally it was a thing. Let me see. Okay, in 2014 he said he raped a woman, and then later he said it was a lie.
Nice.
So like,
Yep, just found it now.
oh, I remember now. I remember listening to him talking about this. He was at a massage parlor getting massaged, and then he says that he just grabbed her hand and put it on his dick. And like,
Yeah, pretty sure that's sexual assault, bud.
yeah, and then like in the podcast, and you could say it was in character or whatever. He says like someone says something like that's rape or something or something like that, or he's like they're like you're a rapist or something. And he says a successful rapist or something like that. So like it could be in the character, it could be a thing to say. Personally, like I don't think that's a funny joke, and I get it. Like some people are edgy for edgy's sake to get content. I'm not particularly down with that.
Yeah, as I said, the hope is you'd think somebody would just be saying stupid shit and being edgy for the sake of content, but either way, bud, probably should shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, homie's lucky he's not in jail or at least charged with anything.
He's got a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
So that being said, Beef, fantastic show. It's amazing. It's so good. Like the show is so good, and that's why I was like,
Fantastic show. Support a rapist.
fuck.
I don't know, bro. It's really hard to consume anything and not support shitty people.
And there is a lot of other people that worked on it that probably aren't shady.
Like the J.K. Rowling shit was a whole nother can of worms with the new Harry Potter game.
Yeah,
Like, how many people work at Rocksteady Studios?
a lot.
Like, it's got to be like hundreds, right? No, it's 250.
I would argue that's a lot.
That is a lot. Like, you don't get into a creative enterprise like this without being fucking some kind of tolerant. I'm trying to figure out the best way to word this. Like, the gay art kids are the kids making art, is what I'm trying to say. There is no way that there's not LGBT folk on that staff. And I just kind of wonder how they feel about the product they're making in that context.
Okay, so you're gonna have to explain this one. The what?
Like, I just wonder how they feel about it.
But what are we talking about here?
An LGBT staff member working for Rocksteady, and how they feel about people boycotting their game because of J.K. Rowling.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a whole other conversation. It's like, because then you're like, is it their paycheck, or what if they already got paid? That whole thing, and it's like, is that really even the argument? Because they worked on it. It's still their product. They put effort into it. They probably want it to be out there.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like probably still proud of it, and it's not like J.K. Rowling was there to put fake trans students in your fucking game. Like, how much postmortem shit did she do to the Harry Potter books?
A lot.
Like wizards unshitting their pants. She put a fake Jewish kid in that was never actually Jewish.
All that Pottermore stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, she did a lot of shit, bro.
How do you feel, Stephanie, about the whole beef with beef?
I don't know. I think it's just really shitty. And I guess it's just the message of beef is just like, it just really fucking practices it. I feel like how much like can you forgive from a person? And how much are you like, okay, then this is, I don't know, Robert, I think you bring this up, like separating the art from the artist. And it's just like, I don't know. Some of those things are kind of wild.
I mean, we still listen to Kanye. It's not like we need to talk too much shit.
I wasn't gonna say it.
Oh my god. Man.
Like, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's so like Dunkey made a video on it, but like you can't consume anything playing by those rules, to be honest. Like, your list would get so small.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Like, there's
But I think also too, it's like a systems thing as well. Like if we did, I don't know, if we were just be better and like do things a little bit better, then
just do better, guys.
we all could. But also too, right? We're all human, so I mean, geez.
Blizzard Activision, just stop it with the sexual harassment, guys. Come on.
Honestly, though, if they could,
Even though it's probably like what 10 dudes. Actually, I don't know. It could be a shit ton, but those companies are huge. But there was a lot of problematic people that work for them.
What's the acceptable rate, Jake?
What's the acceptable amount of sexual assault predators in your company? Answer should be 0. But this is America.
Beef is really good, and I think
I bet.
I was like, this just took a turn.
I'm glad we had this conversation.
and I think that everyone can get something out of beef. I would still recommend it to people because it's really fucking good. But here we are.
Yeah, no fun way to approach this conversation.
Yeah, I know, not really. 10 out of 10 show though.
Yep. Sounds good. Put it on the list.
That's it for beef. I think this might segue well into another show you watched, Stephanie.
Oh, okay then, yeah. So then we'll quickly talk about The Glory. So The Glory is a K-drama. It was also trending for a while, not too long ago. But basically, it is another revenge story, and kind of the main character, she has 5 bullies, and the opening scene is of a girl, right? Somebody in her class grabbing a curling iron, and again, curling irons can get ridiculously hot, and she starts burning her arms for like the first 10 minutes of the show. It's like,
For why?
exactly. For why is really the question, but basically you get to see like everything that happened, and this is like told early on, so I'm not giving anything away. Like the main bully would just choose random people. She was just like, I really don't like you, and then she would start bullying them, and that's how it went on. And so with the main character, and again this happens in like the first episode, like they bully her so bad, and it's not just like physical stuff, right? It's like mental abuse, and then also to like even sexual, because there are 5 bullies in total. So 3 are girls and 2 are guys. And so they basically like humiliate her to the point where she's going to drop out, and she has to list the reason, and she lists the reason as all of these people, right? Basically like all of her classmates that were bullies, which was the 5 people. And her teacher goes ballistic because these 5 students are really rich. They're actually like in the top 1%. And technically like in this school, right? And so basically the teacher's like, you can't say anything. And he starts beating up the main character too.
Nice.
And so it's just like, what? And then also, these are like real stories that actually happened.
Yeah, I heard bullying's really bad in Korea.
Yeah.
Like, it's really fucking bad.
And they're all inspired by, like, again, things that people actually went through. So I think the timeline for this is that this happened in, like, 2008 or something like that, like, kind of in that timeline. And basically, this teacher is, like, bullying her, and then I guess the mom of, like, the main antagonist, like, is like, "We need to get rid of this." And so, the main protagonist mom is kind of like a piece of shit. Like, I'm just gonna say it honestly. And basically, she just gives the mom all of this money. The mom moves out of the building without even telling her daughter. And then the daughter ends up finding out, like, she sees the contract that the moms had signed and how much money she got, and she just leaves her daughter. So then she drops out of school and then she starts working, and then she starts working towards revenge. And just so many things happen, and she takes down every single one of them. And it's not even like she does it, it's like they kinda do it to themselves. So it is wild, but it's, like, really good. It also has a really good ending, so would recommend. And the thing that was pretty bananas about this was that they actually vetted all of their actors. So they made sure that none of them were bullies. So again, right, like, they investigated all of their past. The only thing about this is that they didn't investigate, like, the people that were actually working on it. So they ended up finding out a producer was actually a bully. And it was, like, this huge topic that ended up coming out about this show. But yeah, that's The Glory. Would recommend.
Can you imagine? They actually vet all the people. Something that you would say, "Oh, hey, if they did that with stuff over here, maybe it'd be better." And then it still happens.
No, I feel like there's no way you live in America and at some point in your life you were not an asshole in grade school.
I feel like there's a difference
Yeah, I was like, well,
between being an asshole and, like I got called gay and like worse versions of that word and stuff in middle school. And that doesn't make me want to, get revenge because it doesn't involve a curling iron.
Okay, yeah, I guess there is like a difference in escalation.
yeah. And like I said, it also ends up like coming out that there were other victims too, right? And like the actual things that happened to them. Again, the curling iron is just one of the things that would happen. There was like all of this other stuff that you see basically in episode 1 and throughout the episodes that is revealed. And it's just like heinous stuff. It's like, okay, for one, like as a kid, well, I guess you're in high school, but like thinking about the things that you could do to another human being is just so messed up. But like if you're in grade school, I think like the difference with this is that they stopped at a certain age too. So it was like during high school and middle school, kind of for that time. And of course, right, I think they had to be like pretty heinous acts that were displayed in this show.
And I guess like Korean bullies must be built different, bro. Like somebody called me gay cub in middle school, so I shoved him into a locker. So I'm just saying that's like the level of escalation I was working with.
That makes sense.
When you say shove them into a locker, do you mean you opened it and put them inside, or do you mean
That's a good question.
you just pushed them into?
Oh no, I shoulder tackled him into the fucking locker.
Oh, okay. Jake's like, I'm one of those old school bullies. Dragged him to the toilet and gave him a swirly.
We use violence. No, what we did is God, we were, like everybody was such an asshole in my school, myself included. Is like if you were taking a piss at the urinal before gym, there is a 50% chance you would get drop kicked in the back while you're taking a piss in the urinal.
That's fucked up.
Yep. And I'm just saying, I had many friends with piss covered gym clothes, and that also may or may not happen to me at some point. And then I just skipped gym that day.
Sometimes you just gotta skip gym.
Like it makes me wonder what the bullying was like in Zilla. Like, is it any worse or better in a small town?
So in my personal experience, I don't know why. I was lucky. I was well liked by the upperclassmen. So one of the things that they'd do is if you were a freshman, anytime you went to gym or if you had weight training, PE, whatever, if you were a freshman, you got showered. So they would wait till after gym or after the class, and if you once you were in your like back to your regular school clothes, they would just pick you up, grab you, take you to the shower, and turn on the shower and get you to have your regular clothes wet. So then you were either forced to put on your gross, sweaty gym clothes or just walk around with wet clothes. Which, if it was lunch, maybe you'd be able to like go stand in the sun and dry. But if it was like you got English next, probably can't do that. But I remember that and it was probably because I had other classes with upperclassmen and I was kind of shy my freshman year. They kind of like liked me or pretended to like me. So when we were at gym and then like they picked me up and took me, there was a couple upperclassmen that were like, no, 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 not him. And they just didn't let him do it to me, which was nice.
Wow, look at this fucking Giga Chad over here. This fucking Sigma male.
I don't think it was that. I think just like, I don't know, man. Maybe I was too pathetic to get showered, you know?
Well, you feel left out because you didn't get bullied enough as a kid?
No, I'm glad. I'm like, I didn't experience that.
Stephanie, you have any fun bullying stories or just sad bullying stories?
I was about to say, I think it's like,
Stephanie was like, I was the bully.
I think it was like,
I kicked a kid down a flight of stairs. It was real funny.
bruh, no. But I think like with girls, it's like different. You will have no social status. Like there will be rumors about you, and you're just like, I didn't even know I could even do that. Like, I don't know. So I think there was like a rumor started about me once, but I think that was it to like my knowledge. I was also a nerd, so I don't know. I don't think there were any times where I would like get into like crazy stuff.
Yeah, I stayed away from those kids, so I think for the most part I was pretty safe in high school. You know, my ass wasn't joining fucking anime club. Fuck that.
We didn't have anime club.
I joined an anime club.
How was that, Stephanie? Were you as cringe as all the other kids in my anime club? We had cosplay day at our school where all 6 of the anime club kids dressed in fucking cosplay. And I don't think I've cringed harder in my life.
Oh, well, I don't think we ever had that. And I guess I wasn't able to like attend all the time. But we would like watch anime like after school. And this was in Vegas, so like there was more people. Like you knew you weren't alone. There was definitely a demographic.
A club where you watched anime sounds pretty okay. I don't know, man. These kids were on a lifestyle that made me make sure I didn't tell anybody I liked anime. Like seeing,
I wore a Death of Kid shirt to school, so like I didn't care.
yeah, seeing a kid dressed as fucking the dude from Black Butler and another chick dressed as the fucking lolly from Dance in the Vampire Buns, and I just fucking recede into my own asshole, bro. Like I can't handle it. Like I wish I didn't have the level of shame I do and could enjoy things, but I don't.
Dang.
And now it's mainstream.
Yeah, I know, right? These kids not getting fucking bullied for liking Demon Slayer and fucking Jujutsu Kaisen. Like I feel like I'm about to go beat some fucking middle school ass. Just so they know.
Jake's like, I'm about to be on the glory. All right.
Literally, he's like, I'm gonna make myself a story on there.
Okay, so Korean Count of Monte Cristo. Sounds pretty good.
Yeah, so also too, what else is there?
Yeah, Jake, what else did you watch?
Y'all heard of a show called Braceface?
Yeah.
I have. Oh my gosh.
Hey guys, congrats. I like old ass Disney cartoons that were manufactured by a third party. So I watched me some fucking Braceface this month because it brings me peace. For the ill-informed, Tubi, my favorite streaming service, has a cartoon on it from 2001 called Braceface, which is about the adventures of Sharon, our 8th grade heroine who just got braces, and it makes her life more complicated. What do y'all remember about this show? I remember like watching it at like 2 a.m. when I couldn't fall asleep because for some reason it was on really late on Disney Channel.
I could be wrong, but I kind of remember it tackling weirder topics a la Static Shock, but I don't really remember what it was. Was it like racism or like, I don't know.
I feel like I had a different experience with it. I thought there was like stuff about like teenage girl stuff.
Well, yes, you're both right.
Okay, then, because I was like,
So it's basically about teenage girl shit and also sometimes tackles topics. Like there's an episode where Sharon thinks her brother is like sexually harassing his girlfriend.
Whoa.
And like forcing her to have sex with him because she just overheard a misunderstanding.
damn. I'm trying to think. Was that really?
And yeah, that's an episode where like she's like, Adam, you're sick, you're disgusting. And then she goes to like his girlfriend's house, and then she's like, I'm here for you if you need me. And like his girlfriend's in tears, and she's like, Adam's so sick. And then she's like, well, he tries his best. And she's like, well, he shouldn't be making you do shit you don't want to do. And then she's like, well, I kind of do. It's just, sometimes I don't want to all the time. And then like she's talking about trying to switch from glasses to contact lenses, and her boyfriend Adam trying to like, he's basically telling her to tough it out. Like putting in contact lenses sucks, but they'll be able to do stuff together without her glasses getting in the way, like skiing and shit. But like Sharon's just a fucking ball of miscommunication, which is most of the episode's problem. Like she's working at like a teenage call center, which is just a teenage hotline where teenagers could call and talk about their problems, before fucking Reddit was a thing, I guess. And like she swears the person she's talking to on the phone about like her boyfriend is her brother's girlfriend. But no, it was just some random ass lady being annoyed about her boyfriend loving her too much. And I like the show. Her braces have like weird supernatural powers, which are only brought up sometimes. Like there's an episode where Sharon is like, she has a part-time job at a like slaughterhouse, and she's working the office, and like her braces somehow transmit a radio frequency from a radio inside the slaughterhouse to her phone that she's working at in the office. And the noises of pain and anguish these animals are making in preparation of being slaughtered and in the process of being slaughtered traumatizes her so bad she's a vegetarian for the rest of the show.
Nice.
Yeah, man, fun show. The episode I watched yesterday is she's got her mind made up and she really wants a tattoo, and her mom is a psychologist, and like her mom's boyfriend, because she's divorced, is like, hey, I don't think letting your daughter have a tattoo in 8th grade is probably a good idea. And then her mom's trying to take the psychologist route about it. And she's like, don't worry, David, I got this. Trust me. So her mom like is like, hey, yeah, let's go get that tattoo, Sharon, that you really, really want, because I know you really want it. And what she actually takes her to is her mom's tattoo removal that she just scheduled, because her mom has a tattoo on her ass that she regrets getting. And then she makes Sharon watch it. So she's like, this is the consequences of getting a shitty tattoo when you're not certain about it. You are in 8th grade. You shouldn't be making these decisions.
My goodness, is this what was really happening in this show? Sorry.
And then Sherry decides she wants to get the tattoo anyway, so fuck it. Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's nostalgic. Like, shows about just being a shitty middle schooler. Like, in the same episode, she buys her friend yoga lessons for his birthday because she wants someone to go to yoga with, instead of the archery lessons he really wanted.
Damn, bro. It's almost like someone buying their friend Childish Gambino tickets for their birthday.
Shut the fuck up. I know. I have fun with this show. It's characters have arcs, and they do grow over time. And as I said, there's just a lot of shitty middle schoolness. Like Sharon gets a hold of alcohol for the first time, and that show is just a fucking cringe nightmare because she gets blasted in front of her dad, who like is trying to be the cool dad, but also like not expecting his daughter to just down an entire bottle of rum. Cool dad, and that's its own mess.
Like, and she's never drank before? That's wild.
No. Like, she goes and visits her dad in Florida because her mom she lives in Canada somewhere, and her parents are divorced. Her dad lives in Florida, so she goes to visit her dad, and her dad's a shitty, washed-up rock star that never got famous. And, like, she's hanging out with him during one of his recording sessions, and, like, a roadie just hands her, like, a rum and coke at like a wrap-up party or some shit, and then she just keeps getting a hold of more booze over the course of the episode, and then embarrasses her dad and herself in front of everybody.
Yeah, see,
Good show. 10 out of 10.
I remember it tackling wacky topics, is what I meant.
I mean, there's some wacky topics, like Sharon, is a devout vegetarian and refuses to dissect frogs, but her fucking teacher is very insistent that they dissect these frogs during science class, so she orchestrates a frog heist to free the frogs.
I think I remember specifically that episode.
Same.
Like I remember that episode, actually.
And the person she's orchestrating it with is her best friend's ex, and that's its own fucking conflict. because her best friend's ex is a vegetarian, so they share similar interests and have similar passion for animal preservation, I guess. I said, bro, like the stakes are low, and sometimes I just need that. Especially after watching Moral Oral, a fucking show about generational trauma bleeding down into even the purest of souls. And it's just, sometimes I need my stupid teenage girl shows about girls racking up a $500 phone bill by calling fucking fortune-telling hotlines on her mom's phone bill.
You should watch Beef, bro.
I don't know. Like, let me watch some more Braceface, and then I'll think about it. Moral Oral hit me pretty fucking hard.
No. You're gonna want the brace face for after Beef.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You're gonna want the palate cleanser there.
Goddamn, Moral Oral's good.
I'm not gonna lie. Now I want to watch like Braceface, and also too, I have like this weird memory. I thought there was like a whole like bra episode too, but maybe that's not a thing. Maybe that was just like Lizzie McGuire.
There might be a bra episode. Like, I do recall, because I was like browsing YouTube and I got all my fucking video essay homies, and then one of them made a video on Braceface, and I was like, okay, I'll listen to this. And then, like, as he's talking about the show, I have the fever dream of watching this show at like fucking 2 a.m. on like a Wednesday night as like a 6-year-old, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've watched this show before, so that's what made me watch the show. And yeah, he did mention episodes about her hitting puberty and shit, and that being weird.
That makes sense. All right then.
But yeah, no, if you need something to throw on in the background or something to like passively watch, it's good for that. I don't passively consume media, so I just watch it. So if you like doing that too, it's pretty good. But it's free on Tubi. Go check it out before they get rid of it.
See, video essays are fun and all, and I really enjoy watching them. And I really wanted to watch this Hey Arnold one I found this month, and then I realized it was 7 hours long, and I was like,
Sweet baby Jesus.
See, I usually listen to video essays, especially if I'm making a trip down to Yakima or the Tri-Cities, and I had like a fucking 40-minute commute to work, so throw them in that slot too.
makes sense.
What else you guys got? That's all the shows I watched this month.
Stephanie,
Me and Robert watched another show. It's called Swarm.
How was that?
here we go.
I was about to say, Robert, I will let you take the wheel on this.
Do I need to grab another beer for this?
You might want to grab two. No.
All right. I'll be right back.
Race face sounds wild.
For real. Oh my gosh. Also,
Jake's like, the stakes are low. I'm like, bruh, that's those kids, like, future therapists are dealing with that.
right? I was like,
What you mean the stakes are low?
this is just an episode of Degrassi. Like, next thing, like, Drake's gonna get fucking shot again. Like, holy. Oh, wait, you never watched Degrassi, huh?
I mean, I know the meme, the Drake meme.
Bruh. Oh my god.
Famous basketball player, yada, yada. And also, wasn't that clip, that TikTok I sent you, wasn't that also Degrassi?
Maybe. I don't know.
Where they're like, you know how the boys made us watch that movie about the two gay guys in the mountain? And she's like, Lord of the Rings? And she's like, yeah.
That's not Degrassi.
That's not Degrassi? Is that the OC? Could be the OC.
Maybe. I thought it was a movie.
Was it a movie? I don't know. But no, I know because, like, there's so many memes about Drake on that. I think my favorite one was, there was a whole list and it was like, Drake the type of guy who, and it was like a bunch of things where it was like, says goodnight to the moon. Drake the type of guy who, and there was all these like things you would consider soft, right? And then there was like one where it was just like, Drake the type of guy to get shot and end up in a wheelchair.
For real though.
And I was just like, damn.
You want to know what's fucked up? That episode was about a school shooting, and like one of the main characters, he dies. It was fucking wild. And like Drake's character or whatever, he's like hella depressed.
To stop him, right?
I don't think so. No. Because like
Isn't that how he gets shot?
he does get
All right, boys.
he does get shot.
All right. Sorry, we're just talking about Drake getting shot and ending up in a wheelchair.
Drake got. Oh, you're talking about Degrassi?
Yeah.
Another classic Canadian fucking
That I didn't watch.
TV show like Braceface and Total Drama Island and 16.
Is Total Drama Island Canadian?
Yeah, they're all made by the same studio, bud.
Degrassi was made by the same studio?
I was like, that has to be.
No, I meant like 16 Total Drama Island.
I was like, see, now it makes sense. Definitely now it makes sense.
Producing Parker? You don't remember?
What do you mean?
Like, you never seen Producing Parker?
I might not have.
I think I tried showing you it to you.
The name doesn't ring a bell.
It was like a really fucking obscure adult animated cartoon about a producer for a talk show host.
Not ringing any bells.
Probably not, because I had to watch it on YouTube. Anyway, so tell me about Swarm.
So Swarm is a show produced by Donald Glover. Do you know the name of who he got to write most of it?
Oh, geez, I do not. I remember we looked it up when we watched it, though.
We did. So Donald Glover had this idea for a show, and he's like, "Yo, I got this idea, but I think you should write it and write it through your eyes because I think that'll be better." And so they did. And Obama's daughter also wrote one of these episodes. I think he's got her on the team. Swarm is a show which I didn't know this. I think Stephanie also didn't know this at the beginning. It's based because it literally starts out, and I thought it was just to make it surreal or whatever. But it starts out and it says, if there's any likeness to any characters on the show are just a coincidence and yada yada, and it was not meant to represent anything factual or whatever. This show literally starts and it's like any allusion to a character or any similarities to someone in real life is on purpose, and we are doing this. And I thought that was just part of the atmosphere we're trying to give. This is actually based on Beyonce, right?
Yes, it is. And also, too, sorry, the writer is Janine Nabbers, I believe.
Okay. So we're following this girl who is a super fan of Beyonce, and she basically goes around, and anyone who talks shit about Beyonce or doesn't say, or well, I guess what's in the show, it's someone else. What was her name again in the show?
Was it Nasha or Naya? I don't remember exactly. Fudge.
Placeholder name for Beyonce. Anyone who talks shit or didn't say she was the best, Nija, or didn't say she was the best, she decides to go out and murder the shit out of them.
That's fucking. This is real?
A lot of things that happened in the show are real.
Inspired by true events.
Like,
I'm going to look up Beyonce Killer real quick.
the show will probably pop up. It's hard to watch at times. I remember we blasted through this in a night. Couldn't stop watching.
Swarm is not based on a true story. God damn it.
What do you mean?
That's the official
Okay, well,
Amazon post about it.
okay, well that's Amazon.
Well, okay, so it's actually through Amazon, but again, like, this isn't. There are real things that happen by different fans.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, I guess like an example, and this isn't giving anything away, but there's a point where Dre, the main character, actually takes a bite out of Nisha. And that's a real thing that happened to Beyonce by a fan. Like, somebody like met her and like bit her. Like, it was actually like a public story, and I think it happened in like 2017 or something like that.
Yeah, I don't remember when it happened, but yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, it's not about this one girl that does all of these things, I guess. Like, that isn't true, but it's about the specific events that this girl does, like individual events that were true of different fans.
Okay.
It's kind of crazy, like where it goes. It's weird, it's surreal, and I don't know if I'd recommend it to someone because I don't know what I'd describe it as.
Yeah, I did not like the ending.
I definitely think it should have ended an episode earlier, or or just swap the two last episodes order.
So is it like a good show or not?
It's visually enticing. Like, it's got good cinematography, got good color. It feels
So is it like a thriller? Is that a thriller or is it a horror thing? Or is it just like a weird biopic
we're following essentially a serial killer.
that is fake, I guess? Yeah, but like that could be funny.
There's humor in it. There is funny moments.
Like American Psycho is pretty fucking funny.
It's not American Psycho levels of funny.
Yeah. I guess, though, how it's described is an American satirical comedy horror thriller television series.
Yeah, I guess, I don't even know why I asked. You should have just been like, it's a Donald Glover thing, and I could have just been like, yeah, okay.
I mean, that's one way to. Yeah, that's very fair. Like, could just say that.
Like any of the standalone episodes from Atlanta, you could have just been like, yeah, it's one of those, but a whole show.
No, and it even does that. Like, one of the second to last episode is from a cop's point of view. And so it does touch on that. Like everyone's looking at, and this is what that episode frames it to be. Everyone's looking at this from your typical serial killer and cop perspective. So they're looking for a white male. And then that episode is there is a black female cop who sees these signs where she's like, hold on a sec. And she sees it differently. And so she's the one that manages to track her down, basically, because she has she grew up differently and she sees a lot of things that no one else does. And it's like that episode is filmed like a documentary almost, whereas all the other ones it's like a TV show. And then the very last episode goes back to TV show format, if that makes sense.
No, I kind of get it. As I said, I don't know, did you guys at least like it?
I was entertained to the point where I watched the whole thing in the one night, but it's not something that I don't know who I'd recommend it to.
But did you like it?
I wouldn't watch it again. I'm glad I watched it.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Stephanie?
Yeah, I would say kind of like a similar vibe because it's just very unsettling. And of course, it's supposed to be. And I guess also too, I don't know if I told you this, Robert. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. But I guess some of the writers also took like inspiration from like real serial killers. So there is like this huge emphasis on food. She will basically raid people's kitchens and she will eat, and you'll see that. And I guess that's something that actually happened kind of with the Night Stalker. And then also too, was it Ted Bundy, I believe? So again, they just pulled things from like real situations, and it's just wild. And the way that people kind of went out, it was like, all right. It was very interesting. And I guess also too, if you are a fan of Billie Eilish, she is in the show, but she's only there for an episode. So interesting stuff. I would say that I'm glad that I watched it, but would I say that I really liked it? I just really didn't like the ending, and I think that's what kind of tainted it for me.
Bro, if a fucking serial killer ever breaks in my fucking house and claps my cheeks and then goes to my fridge, motherfucker's gonna find nothing but tofu. He's gonna be pissed.
She would definitely have been pissed if she found tofu.
For real.
Like fucking mad.
It also touches on addiction. I forgot there is that one episode, or I guess would you call that no? I would say it's addiction, right?
Yeah, the one guy with the freaking cake or whatever.
Yeah.
We're also represented, or I guess Seattle is. So interesting times.
Oh, that was in Seattle. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh, did the entire city look like it smelled like piss?
It basically took I guess.
Robert's like, basically.
Because the Seattle smells like piss. I fucking hate Seattle, dude.
It had a lot of Washington themed jokes. What's the word for not racism but almost racism? And it's not statistics. It's Mexicans are hard workers.
Racism.
There's a word.
Stereotypes?
You mean stereotyping?
Stereotypes. There you go. It has and this isn't about race. It just has a lot of Seattle stereotypes. Pacific Northwest.
Disclaimer: we're all Hispanic on this podcast.
I was like, this is kind of about race.
Hold up. We're all Hispanic on this podcast. Let's relax real quick before we get canceled. Let's cover our bases.
I think that's been established with Roberto Gonzalez.
Could be somebody's first episode, buddy.
Stephanie Aguilar and Jacob Birch.
Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, they know. How could they not?
Yeah, how could they not, Bert?
I just have to say this.
That's Storm. Or yeah, go on, say it.
Yeah, I was about to say, with the Seattle theme, it was like so messed up because basically there are these drinks. And I didn't tell you this either, Robert, but I had went to Hello Sugar and there's a location. What?
We had them.
Yeah, I know that's why it was so funny. But I had saw them at Hello Sugar in Liberty Lake, which is basically like near Spokane for everybody to know. And
I used to work there.
oh, what?
That was where my internship was.
At Hello Sugar?
No, in Liberty Lake.
Oh, JK, never mind. I was just like, Jake, how could you not get his donuts? Anyway.
Jake, you got a computer science degree? You got turned down by Hello Sugar? They didn't want to hire you on, really?
I was about to say.
I think it was more you didn't get us some snacks, bro.
Yeah, I was about to be like, speaking of, anyway. But so yeah, it's just really funny definitely. And I think I forgot what other places there is. I know there's Houston, right? And then there's geez, I have no idea what the other cities were, but I know Houston was big because also too, I guess Beyonce is from there as well. So just throwing that out there.
No, but it was really funny because we're chilling, and I'm like, Stephanie, you got some water? And she's like, yeah. And she brings out 2 Topo Chicos for us to drink. It's like a sparkling water, you know?
They're from Monterrey.
I'm aware.
And it was really funny because one of the Seattle stereotypes was like when he opens his fridge, all he had was Topo Chico water. And we couldn't even fucking argue the point because there we were, Topo Chico water bottles in hand. So it was like, damn, they got us.
Oh.
I'm more of a La Croix man myself.
That's what I'm drinking, you know, but Stephanie over here is a little more bougie.
Bro, the lemon lime one though. Oh my gosh, I have a whole thing of it. But anyway.
It's what I'm drinking right now. Well, it's just lime.
I must have got old because I prefer unflavored sparkling water.
If it's cold.
Duh. Who drinks lukewarm fucking sparkling water? Just drink water at that point.
Yeah, I was seeing Robert do that shit. Like, what?
I don't know. He doesn't refrigerate his fucking drinks, and it makes me upset. Like, I remember being mad at him for fucking handing me a lukewarm beer once, and I was like, bro, and he's like, bro, it's beer. It goes down the same.
It's actually harder to drink cold beer than it is to drink lukewarm beer.
That's what keeps you from getting fucked up, Robert. That's the point.
Wow.
If you're just trying to get fucking swifty real quick, just start drinking liquor.
I don't think my liver would appreciate that very much.
Probably doesn't appreciate the lukewarm beer either.
Nah, it likes it. Told me.
Fuck you.
Did you have anything else to say about Swarm?
Nah, that's it.
That's Swarm.
Cool. Sounds like I'm probably not going to watch it.
I don't blame you.
Same.
Like, I didn't watch Guava Island.
I did watch Guava Island, and shout out to everyone. Guava Island, really good. Amazing. It's a really cool, really long music video. Yeah.
All right, what the fuck else y'all got? That was all my shows.
That was all my shows as well.
Same.
Then we're done with shows.
I wasn't even going to bring up Braceface.
I mean, Braceface, we now Stephanie wants to watch it. There's probably people out there, at least 3 of the 7, who might give it a shot now. It's on Tubi.
Well, I'm glad I could reawaken the fucking one brain cell that was holding that memory of Braceface for y'all. Activate that neuron real quick.
I mean, like, as soon as you said the frog episode thing, I was like, I could see it. Crazy how that worked.
I'd just like to say that Connor, the best friend in Braceface, is a real fucking homie.
We can just say Connor is a real fucking homie.
And he does remind me a lot of regular Connor.
What do you mean regular? I refer to him as Cool Connor. That's what he's down as on my phone.
Well, I have regular Connor and I have shitty Connor. So regular Connor means good Connor.
Okay, see, there's 2 kinds of people. Back to that, the duality of man.
Shut the fuck up.
I have Cool Connor, and then I have regular Connor. You have regular Connor and shitty Connor. I guess we just judge people differently.
Well, because most of the people I've ever met in my life named Connor fucking suck, except for Connor.
Just be quiet right there. Just leave it at that. Just say no more.
Look, Connor knows who he is. He's probably the only Connor that actually would listen to this podcast. So he knows he's regular Connor, which is not shitty Connor.
Is he listening to the podcast?
He listens. I think he's behind right now, but he listens.
Aw.
Yeah, anyway, Connor, OG. What a cool guy. He's just a real pal.
There is another thing that Stephanie and I did this month. We played Hunt a Killer, Body on the Boardwalk, which is one of those whodunit mystery adventure. I don't want to say board game because it's not really a board game. More of a
It's like a role playing game.
no. It's almost kind of like an ARG mystery, but it's not really. You get it in a cardboard box that looks like a board game, and there's a bunch of clues, and you got to find the killer.
If you've watched Bailey Sarian's YouTube show, she always has, I guess, ads for this. We are not sponsored.
The fuck did you just say to me? Who? What?
It's this lady that talks about murder all the time. She's actually really famous. You guys probably do know her. You just don't know that you know her.
Stephanie, I don't know if I'm gonna let you in on a secret. This whole murder shit, usually not in my wheelhouse. I like my escapism to be escapism.
Like Braceface. Got it?
I didn't grow up a teenage middle school girl, all right? Yeah, can't relate. Full escapism.
Jake's like, this whole murder thing, where you murder people, favorite game of all time, Hotline Miami. I'm not about it, you know?
I mean, Hotline Miami.
John Wick is sick. Murder, not my thing.
That's like fantasy murder. It's like sexy murder.
Fantasy murder.
Stephanie's talking about unsexy murder, like just regular murder that makes people sad.
Depends on who you ask, I guess.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think of a huge amount of people. Stephanie brought it up. She was like, "That's why You has 4 seasons." What was the other one you mentioned?
Oh, geez, I don't remember, but yeah.
But yeah, the ladies, they don't find it unsexy, Jake.
What meant to? Whoa, whoa.
What the fuck are you like? God, I feel like such a fucking alien for being able to relate to any of this shit. What the fuck do you mean murder is sexy?
I mean,
I'm not down, but some people obviously think it's cool.
I'm gonna just go cry in the corner. It's fine.
Like,
I'm sorry for saying you're fucking weird for thinking murder is sexy. Like, what do you want from me?
Whoa.
I don't think she's weird, and she didn't say that she did. But if you look at a lot of fan fiction out there,
All right, we need to shoot this conversation in the fucking face right now. So what were you talking about before I got on this murder boner shit?
I was about to say, I think we have to talk about it just a little bit. Violence against women is real.
violence against women is real. So hunt a killer, body on the boardwalk.
Was the victim a woman?
Oh shit.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. I want to preface this by saying Stephanie picked up the box, flipped it over,
Wait, don't say this to Jake now.
saw a guy on there, and was like, "That's the fucking guy. That's the killer." And I like took the box out of her hand, and I was like, "Stephanie, it says right here, items in box may differ to picture, so fucking highly doubt that's the guy." Spoiler alert, that was the fucking guy. Like, she just cracked the case right off the bat.
So I'm assuming the killer is like randomly generated every time you play.
No,
What?
it's not a board game. Like I said, it's a box that has a bunch of clues.
Yeah,
So you can play this once and that's it?
Yes.
So what you're saying is you just fucking spoiled the board game because it's the guy on the back of the fucking box?
There's multiple guys on the back of the box.
that's what makes it more impressive. Just saying.
And also, yeah, it wasn't just like,
How much did y'all pay for this board game with 0 replayability?
your sister gave it to me as a Christmas gift, and I finally got around to playing it.
I'm gonna have to make a phone call.
I mean, and also they have different like things. Like if you go on their website, they have a bunch of different mysteries. Some you don't solving one. Some are like 5 parts. So you'll figure out the first part and you have certain information, and then like the next week you'll get the second package. This is just one of those ready to go boxes. It's a smaller experience. And I mean, we had fun with it. There's a lot more to it than just reading
Well, I'm
stuff.
assuming you get like a bunch of cards that have clues on them, but like, do you guys have to look shit up? Is there information in the box that helps you figure it out? Like,
There's like a newspaper. There's a guy currently for this specific adventure. There's a guy that the police have in custody, and that guy's mom is like, "Yo, my son's innocent. Here is files on all the people that work there because it takes place on a boardwalk. It's like a what would you call it? A fair or or just a pier thing?
Yeah, just appear.
They have rides, Ferris wheel, shit like that.
what is it? Is it Long Island?
I mean, there's Santa Monica. There's a bunch of places like that.
Whatever, never been to the ocean.
But so you have like the mom wrote out all these like little bios on the people that work there. But obviously she's biased because it's her son. And then you have like postcards, you have stuff with ciphers on it. There's a little box that someone bought at a gift shop that has a lock on it, so you got to figure out what the combination to it is. And then there's stuff inside there that like there's invoices, basically a lot of things with times and dates. And you can kind of place people at places because there's also schedules. So some people are lying, some people are telling the truth, and it's a fun little puzzle mystery.
So do you have a way of like checking whether or not you're right?
Yeah, well, there's a end game card that you open once you guess who it is. And if you need help throughout any of the process, you can cheat. They have like a website, and it's like, do you need help? Do you need hints? where are you at? And you can just get hints. Or you can be like, I'm fucking stupid. Give me the answer to this thing. Or you could just straight up be like, I just want to know who it is.
Bro, I'd be so fucking disappointed if I guess wrong.
I would be too, to be honest with you. If you guess this one wrong, like Stephanie got it before she even opened the box, bro.
Let me tell you, it's just that killer instinct. But also too, it was like a fun time, and I think technically we also didn't play it right, right? Like we were supposed to do more.
I don't necessarily think that means we played it wrong. It just means that we drew a conclusion and we didn't fully back it up. Like we thought we had enough evidence to convict someone when there was more evidence we could have used to further prove that we were right, and we just didn't do that part. You know, cops do that all the time, so I'm sure it never goes wrong.
Sweet baby Jesus.
Damn, bro. Next you're about to say Bush did 9/11.
Oh my gosh.
Nah, I think that was the Varus Club.
Tartarus Club.
Tartarus. Okay, well, Terrorist Club. There's no way it was Tartarus. We would have remembered that shit.
Taurus, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun. I'd do another one. Maybe one of the harder ones. But it's a good time. Jake, you'll never be able to do it for this one because you'll know who it is.
I mean, glad you had fun. Yeah, I feel like my patience for mysteries is not existent.
Did we have to do math at one point? I think we did, didn't we?
Oh, yep. Y'all want to talk about math?
We did. We did.
What do you know about math, bro?
So, as I've been discussing earlier with Stephanie, I am in the process of job hunting for a job in the field of computer science. A lot of job interviews require you to take an exam or some kind of test to see if you're even worth another interview. And before my internship ended, I get a call from a company that said, hey, your phone screening, or we're going to do a phone screening this day. Are you cool with that? And I was like, okay, phone screenings are just them checking out my details and background over the phone. I can take a 15-minute break at work and do that. Sure, no problem. We can do it this day. That day comes. They give me a call. I answer. I go into the cry rooms we had at work so I could take my phone call. And this motherfucker says to me, yeah, so let's begin the interview.
Let me stop you right there real quick. Did you say cry rooms?
Yeah, software development's real fancy.
What does cry room mean? Is this a room you go to cry in?
It is a room, a fairly spacious room, meant for one person, and the door locks. It has got a comfy chair and a stand-up light, and you could cry or take your break or take a phone call.
I got into the wrong field.
They're mainly for phone calls. We just called them cry rooms.
Pretty rad, actually.
And yeah, he asked me a math problem that I thought was simple. And for confirmation that it was simple, I relayed this to my girlfriend. And then she laughed about it. And I was like, no, really, what's the answer, though? And then she said, I don't know, man. And I was like, no, but what's the answer, though? And this bullying continued until she started crying in the car.
Jesus Christ.
Sweet baby Jesus.
So, well, she was cry laughing. So we'll see you guys. Stephanie, you have 3 quarters.
Yes.
What is the probability of all of them being heads if you flip each one once?
I have no idea.
You have 10 seconds.
Oh my god.
10, 9,
51%? I don't know.
8. So what the fuck are you talking about?
1 out of 2? I don't know.
Robert?
Third? 1 out of 3?
What?
1 out of 3?
That you flip 3 quarters and all of them come up heads?
33%?
No, what the fuck?
What do you mean?
Okay, see, because this is the simple phone screening. He was asking me these questions before I could even get an interview scheduled. The fuck you mean you guys don't know the probability?
I'm going to tell you right now, probability is on the GRE, and I just survived off of prayers and good vibes when that came up.
All right, boys, let me help you work through it. So you have a quarter.
So 50% for the first one.
Yes. Now 2 quarters. What's the chance of them both being heads?
So then 4 out of 2. Right? No, JK.
What?
Oops.
But then,
Yeah, Robert, you have 2 coins. What's the probability?
actually, you didn't say that they would all be the same. You just said that they're all heads, right?
You flipped them each coin once. What's the probability of them all being heads? So if you have 1 quarter, Robert, what's the probability of it being heads?
50%.
You have 2 quarters. What's the probability of flipping them both once and them both being heads?
50%.
No.
How is it not?
You have 4 possible options. You have heads, 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 tails,
Tails head.
tails, heads, and tails,
Okay.
tails.
Okay. So,
That's 1 out of 4.
all right.
So now,
So then 1 out of 6
no.
for 3?
Why would it be 1 out of 6?
If it's 3 out of 6, then it's still 50%. No, it's 4.
No. Okay, Robert.
Is it 1 out of 16?
1 quarter.
Wait, 1/3?
1 quarter
Huh.
is 1/2 probability.
Hmm.
2 quarters is 1/4 probability. 3 quarters is.
Oh.
1/8?
Congrats, you did it.
That's stupid. I hate you.
What? What do you mean? It's math.
Fuck math. What did it ever do for anyone? I'm in debt. Fuck math.
There are 8 possible combinations of quarters.
Okay.
Like I gave that to you.
All right, Jake. How about we do this?
What?
Fuck math.
Well, I'm glad we're all on the same page on math. I fucking sent Robert snaps yesterday of fucking brace face where they're asking her middle school math problems, and I realized I can't answer them. All right, question number 2, boys. We're doing the middle school math problem now.
Oh god.
Thanks. You have to make us feel bad?
A man is twice as old as his son. Combined, their ages are 69. How old is the man and how old is his son? 10 seconds on the board. Let's go.
Man is twice as old as his son.
Yes. 10. 9. Somebody give me something, please. 8.
23 and 46.
Congrats, you did it. I don't want to hear shit out of you ever again because you made me fucking do chemistry questions for no goddamn reason.
I watched Black Lagoon because of that. All you did is get us.
Yeah, you're welcome. That was your privilege.
All you did is get us after we've been here for 5 hours and be like, it's time for math.
I said I was going to ask the question.
Psych them out with that Bush did 9/11 shit, so they would never expect the real threat, math.
Yeah, so you basically have to do a bunch of math questions before they'll even consider interviewing you, which is fun. Anyway, other than math, what the fuck else did you all do?
So I didn't read anything, but I think both of y'all read something. Stephanie, what did you read this month?
So I ended up reading Shadow House, and it's actually an anime too. And actually, the anime is like, it has really good reviews. I have not watched it yet. I would like to. But basically, it is about this maid, and she is like the face of her shadow. So the shadow is actually like this real person, and they're of nobility, and they have a maid who is their face. And so basically, with this first, I guess, like volume, you get to see what the maid goes through and like how she still needs to learn how to be face of a shadow, which is just like really wild. But yeah, all of the nobility basically have their own faces, which are maids.
What?
Yeah, it's wild. But
Like, no, explain this to me.
What does the face of a shadow mean?
Like, is it a...
so literally a shadow is like a for real shadow. Like it is a shadow person. Okay, think of it like that. Yeah, a shadow person.
Okay.
Okay.
So then it's still a person that is tangible. They just appear as a shadow. So they don't have a face, if that makes sense. And
So they're literally a black silhouette on the ground.
but they still wear clothes.
And then, what? How?
So like a black silhouette with clothes.
Like, are they shadow clothes? Do they blend into the silhouette?
No, so they're like Victorian clothes.
What?
I see now, Jake. If you look at her thing, you'll see it on there on her list.
hmm hmm
I see now.
The fuck is this?
It's a shadow.
But the way the light is, she wouldn't cast a shit. I don't know.
So here's like the weird thing. There's also like a supernatural element to it. So basically, it's like the shadow person is covered in like soot. And so it's just really, really interesting. So they basically don't have any features. So they do need a maid to be I guess, their presenting face. And so they will walk together, and instead of the shadow talking to like another shadow, their maids will interact.
with each other.
Yeah. But this maid, she is like still new and she's still getting to learn her shadow. And so she is kind of learning what to do and what not to do. And it is really creepy.
So, like, can the shadows talk?
Yeah, they do. They can talk, but I guess they're of nobility, so they can't be doing that.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
You just don't get it, Jake.
I guess I'm stupid.
I was about to say, it's just because you're too poor. No, I'm just kidding. But like, no,
Like, you're not wrong, but fuck me.
no.
You wouldn't understand that nobility life, bro.
You're just making fun of me because I just lost my job.
You don't got that Topo
no.
Chico in your fridge, bro.
I don't. I'm drinking Coors Light.
Oh,
my
man.
gosh. This is not what I meant. I hope that doesn't stay in the podcast. But anyway.
Don't cut it.
I just think it's really funny that you were explaining the concept of shadow people, and then Jake said, but the light reflecting wouldn't work. And then after explaining shadow people, you said it also has supernatural elements.
I just assumed they were literally like shadows on the ground and they needed their maids to basically walk them around because I'm just gonna, just so I don't snap my brain in half,
Okay.
they're ghosts. Need butlers because ghosts can't interact with shit. Boom, done, did it.
Yeah, I guess that's a better way to look at it, except they're like physical ghosts.
You just broke Jake's brain again.
Give me a math problem.
This math ain't math.
All right then. So basically it is pretty good, and also too, it's like a cute creepy, and it is kind of unsettling because you're like, again, the shadow doesn't have faces and you see multiple shadows, and you also see multiple maids throughout the like first volume. And so you're just like, this is very interesting. But it's actually like pretty cool and it's pretty nice. And she's just learning how to basically like take care of her shadow the best that she can. And of course, too, her shadow is like still really young too. And so it's just really nice. You can tell that they really care about each other.
On a toilet bound Hanako level of cute creepy, is this creepier or cuter?
Oh well, we need to just we don't we don't bring up that masterpiece, but I would say that this is more cute right now. But I can tell that it's gonna go to like a creepy vibe. And I just read the first volume of it.
Fair enough.
All right, noted.
Tag team. Jake, it's your turn.
Okay, I read a manga called Mashil, Magic and Muscles. Hey, do y'all like Harry Potter?
We were talking about J.K. Rowling earlier, so is this a trick question? I don't know.
Yes, if you say you like Harry Potter, you're canceled.
I hope no one recommended or said, "Hey, man, maybe this will be a good manga." Come in.
Yeah, whatever. Robert recommended this to me a long time ago, and I was like, yeah, it'll probably be pretty good. And then eventually I found a copy of it on sale, and I think I bought the first copy.
And now it's got an anime.
It does have an anime. I've read the first 6 volumes of Magic and Muscles, and for the uninformed, Mashil Magic and Muscles is about a world where eugenics are fucking lit, and you're born being able to use really cool magic, and if you can't use really cool magic, they euthanize you because eugenics. And Mashil, our main character, cannot use magic at all. Has no talent for magic. So his dad, or adoptive dad, being sympathetic to people who suck at magic / have no magic, adopts him and then raises him in the woods. But Mash is a fucking idiot, so he eventually gets himself caught. And through shenanigans, Mash is enrolled in basically Hogwarts, like they have magic schools. And the deal is he basically needs to graduate valedictorian, or one of the people that found him out is gonna turn him into the government, because I guess if you find a valedictorian and sponsor them, you get a shit ton of money or something like that. But it's basically an excuse for this dude, Mash, who has no magic powers whatsoever, to end up in a magic school where he has to figure out how to solve all of his magic-based problems without magic. And the deal with Mash is his dad wanted to keep him out of trouble as a kid, so he just made him lift, because he's like, I don't know what to do with kids or how to keep them out of trouble, so I'm just going to make my kid get swole. So Mash is stupid fucking strong. Like, Mashil is unreasonably strong. Like, it is basically its own superpower. And this is a comedy shonen manga that has all the stereotypes of shonen, but I like it. So that means that means it's different because I like it. That's why.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this comic's pretty funny, and I like the main character because Mashiel is a good boy. He's just a wholesome little guy, but he also has a permanent resting bitch face, which I can relate to. Like, he's a kind dude, but I don't think I've seen him smile in the 6 volumes yet. And he makes some friends at his cool magic school, and then hijinks ensue. So there's, like, obviously other kids who figure out he can't use magic, and they want him kicked out because he's at a magic school for the elite without magic. And that's just gross.
Just beat the shit out of him, bro.
Yeah, no, he just solves all of his problems via brute force. So whenever somebody challenges him to a magic duel, he usually just beats the shit out of them with violence. And it's fun. And like, I don't know. I'm sure the anime adaptation of the show is good. I love the manga due to, like, this is the creator's first manga. And there's some things about the art that is so shit that I find it charming. Like, some of the facial expressions in this manga are so shit that turning the page and finding one makes me laugh. And the way he draws legs is they're like really tall, skinny triangles that like don't make any sense, especially considering like Mash is ripped as fuck and his glutes and hams are thick when he's like up close, but when he's really far away, he's just got these little triangle legs, and that's very cute. And yeah, I'm having a good time with it so far. I'm on volume 6, and I guess the tournament arc just started in volume 6. So I know I'm in for a good time. So I guess the premise is, in order to be a valedictorian, you need to get 5 of these golden coins, which lets you compete in the magic tournament or whatever to see if you're worthy of being a valedictorian. Like, you get these little coins for like doing extracurricular activities and succeeding in them or getting good grades. Or you could just beat the shit out of other students and take their gold coins, because I guess that's allowed too. So yeah, and the 6th volume, Mash has gotten his coins, and now he's in the tournament arc. And now we get to see how he fares in this not Harry Potter tournament without magic.
Who needs magic?
Not this man. This man's fucking ripped. And I'm having a good time with this so far. I think I'm probably going to continue with the manga. I'm sure the anime is good, but I just enjoy reading the little letters that the author leaves in each volume to his fans, thanking him for supporting his first manga and spending the money in a post-COVID economy. Really cute comic. Like it. What else we got?
Stephanie, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so.
Then I guess it's all you, Jake.
Y'all got nothing? All right. Well, I wanted to talk about an album that I finally got around to listening to. You know, I listened to it the first time when it first dropped, and I thought it was pretty shit. But, you know, I think I'm an older man now. I think I'm wiser. I think I know more. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Cave World by the Viagra Boys.
So it was that you got older.
Do what?
I said, so it was that you got older.
Yeah, I guess, maybe. I don't know. I didn't really like this first album first time I dropped it or listened to it. And I think that's just because their Viagra Boys' previous album, Welfare Jazz, is too good. Like, that album doesn't fucking miss. Like, Welfare Jazz might be one of my favorite albums of all time. So when I listened to Cave World and I was expecting something similar, and that's not what I got, I was like, damn. But I've been cranking it a couple times this past month, and you know what? Cave World's grown on me. I do like this album a lot. You know, it is centered around the themes of digression, I guess. Man evolving backwards or devolving, or maybe man did not evolve at all. And this album's also just like really fucking funny. Like, the lyricism on Ain't No Thief is so shit that it wraps right around back to being brilliant and funny.
You got a theme going there, bud.
I mean, I guess Viagra Boys, like, I would consider them punk, but like the instrumentals that go into their songs are so well played that it's really hard to justify it as punk because the instrumentals are too good. Like, most of the punk vibe comes from the lead singer, and it almost sounds like he's ad-libbing most of these songs. But if you're in the mood for some good old-fashioned trailer park rock, go ahead and give Cave World a spin. A couple of my favorite songs are the Cognitive Trade-Off Hypothesis. Ain't No Thief has a fucking killer bass line. Troglodyte's also pretty good. Like, there's not a single song on this album that I don't like. So if you're interested in some of that, go ahead and check out some Viagra Boys. Get on it.
All right, Viagra Boys.
I don't know, man. I like the Viagra Boys. I think their early albums are actually quite shit. I kind of like their most recent 3 albums a lot more than anything else they've done. So they kind of only get better. Except, as I said, I think Welfare Jazz is a fucking masterpiece. But Cave World's pretty good too. The fuck else y'all got? Sounds like y'all got nothing.
Oh yeah, no, I ain't got shit. I'm out. I'm done.
Same.
Like I didn't consume all that much.
All right, I'm good.
So we only got one YouTube drop, the Viagra Boys.
I mean, that's a music drop. I mean, I got YouTube videos on here, and I got another album I listen to, but like, I don't have as much to say about Cracker Island by the Gorillaz. Like, I think the album's pretty good and pretty easy listening. The Bad Bunny song on it's pretty shit, but other than that, I like the rest of the album.
I have so many words for that, but anyway.
No. I want to hear this.
It's probably just because I don't like Bad Bunny and think he sucks, but
I don't like him either. Like, but that song.
like, I think the Stevie Nicks song on here.
Stephanie really likes that Bad Bunny Gorilla song.
What? That song is fucking garbage.
I love that song, and I also love the lyrics in it, and I'm just like, dang.
He really just singled out that one song.
I know.
I mean, I like the Stevie Nicks song. Oil's pretty good. My favorite song on the album is probably Skinny Ape. Cracker Island is obviously a banger track. Everybody likes New Gold. Like, who's under the age of like 30 and doesn't like Tame Impala?
People also like Bad Bunny, but anyway.
Bad Bunny fucking sucks.
I disagree.
I know. Moving on.
I guess we're moving on.
I got nothing, bro. I mean, I watched a video about a dude who made a IDE and PowerPoint, which is pretty nuts, but that's like nerd shit. I'm assuming other people don't care about.
I don't know what an IDE is.
Integrated Development Environment. It is something you can write code in, and that'll compile your code.
He made that in PowerPoint?
Yes, he turned PowerPoint into a compiler and used it to write C++ code to make Snake. And me just thinking about this process of how he went about doing it makes me feel unhinged. So over the course of this video, you can just see this man. I mean, over the course of all of Mix Morris's videos, like, he just kind of starts losing his fucking mind. Like, he used to be a video game developer YouTuber and just like talk about his video game projects that he's making. And then he started branching out into engineering. So like, Stephanie, I'm assuming you haven't heard of Mix Morris, but he hooked up a Unity game that he made to a motor and a Razor scooter. And whenever you die in the game, the Razor scooter comes down and knocks you square in the fucking ankle.
Oh, he's that guy.
Yeah, no, like
Yeah, I was about to say, I've heard of this too.
Yeah, he made DDR, but
with Legos?
Yeah, but he replaced the fucking dance pad with a Lego pad. And for extra misery, he took a sander to the Lego bricks. There's another video where he set up a shock collar to go off whenever you take damage in Smash Bros. To really put the fear of God into people.
I was about to say, I'd be dead.
And make sure they'd stop losing a Smash Bros.
What if you're into that?
I mean, then he's got you covered. And as I said, now he's turned PowerPoint into something you can write code in. And it's like, I wonder if he's okay. Because like, this dude's mental degradation, I feel like, is played up, or he's feeling the way I did in my journey through university. Because I think he's like 3rd or 4th year now. So this man's mental health has got to be just fucking dog shit at this point.
He's like, I can do worse.
I mean, yeah, if you just want to see a man lose his fucking mind and talk about a bunch of technical jargon that I barely understand, yeah, feel free to check out Mix Morris's latest video, Coding in PowerPoint. That's all I got to talk about, gentlemen.
Well, maybe it'll be shorter than the other one.
No, well,
maybe not. We'll see.
Nope, I'm already looking at the time now.
I don't think it went over. We got that going for us. And with that, it's another episode wrapped up.
3-hour episode, baby. Let's go.
We'll see you guys next time.
Remember, folks, Bush did 9/11.
Bye.
Bye.